Now we should be live. Okay, that was weird. It didn't start automatically. I don't like that. Um, so yeah, we're here to talk about Arcane Season 2 today.
Yep.
Just very quick warning. Actually, first of all, I know we have the stag overlay. This isn't really a stag. This is just us ranting about how disappointing Season 2 is, mostly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, but yeah, quick warning. We're spoiling all of Season 1 and 2 in this. Well, probably. And if you haven't seen season one, go watch it. If you haven't seen season two, don't watch it because it is terrible and awful and horrible, and no one should have to be subjected to that after seeing season one.
Yeah, they character assassinate every single person in the show. It's
Un-
like
Unironically,
just
the
awful.
character that comes out best out of everything is Marcus, who fucking died in season one.
Yeah. My thing was Cree was asked like who comes out of this unscathed? And mine would be Swain because they only make reference to like, do you know who this is? But they didn't do anything with him. So they had no
I
chance to fuck him up.
I should say that doesn't really count because he wasn't a character in season one or two. Like you just
Fair.
There,
That's fair.
it's more so they're referencing him or teasing him, as opposed to, oh hey, this is a
Yep.
character speaking lines that they absolutely ruined and just completely fucked over.
The season has issues, but saying season 2 is terrible is wild. No, no, it is utter dog shit. They fucked every single character up. They destroyed all of their world and pace. They were too busy trying to jerk off with music videos than to actually have a fucking story for season 2. Oh my god.
And see, that's the thing too, is I found the music videos annoying too, but that was mainly because of pacing. It's just like we don't have time for this. I
Yeah,
know we talked about it. I think it was on Pagan's Stalker stream where we talked about this, but like episode 2 starts off with a music video showing how things in Zon are going to shit without the leader, without Silco there to keep everything together, where the gangs are fighting and everything. And I do like that little sequence in isolation, but man, we do not fucking have time for this shit with only 9 episodes. Like
yeah.
this is one of those things where you could go either way on, where it's like, if we had more seasons, let's get into, like, go in depth on this to show how things are really breaking down. Give me an entire episode about how, everything's going wrong. But since we only have 9 episodes of season 2, I'm just like, okay, you can do this in a line. Literally a line or two. Yeah, the Chem Barons in the lanes are fighting amongst themselves. There's a power vacuum. Done and out of the way.
Yep. You can even show unrest in like the distance, show like buildings burning over in Zon, shit like that.
Yeah,
You didn't
literally
need a music montage.
literally just a few plumes of smoke will tell you that things aren't going well over there.
Mhm.
No pagan today? This isn't a stag, despite using the stag overlay. It's just what I had that looked good. And Pagan hasn't seen season 1 or 2 of Arcane, so if we brought him in for this stream, it would just be him sitting there and maybe occasionally asking a question as we're talking about stuff, but otherwise, yeah.
Yeah, questioning why they did something like that sounds awful. It's like it was. It's it's so weird because season 2 feels like they're trying to do 3 different seasons at once.
Yeah, that's
It,
one of my problems with it. Is it feels like they're trying to cram too much into a very short amount of time, and as a result, a lot of stuff just gets skipped or, like, there's so many things you could point this out for, but characters reacting to something is kind of a big deal. Not seeing Luke Skywalker react to Han Solo's death was fucked up in The Last Jedi because, like, that's such an important moment. Of course,
yep.
Last Jedi is dog shit through and through, but we have that exact same problem in this show where literally half of the city council has been killed, and we do not get a moment for Heimerdinger to react to that or like deal with it in any kind of way. It's just he might not even know, as far as what we've been shown, because it never gets
Yeah.
brought up.
It's just wild. It doesn't make any sense. And again, they completely destroyed what Heimerdinger was before. Yeah, sure, he was excitable and eager and giddy, but he was the voice of reason, the voice of caution about what Hex Tech would do.
Yeah.
And
like
suddenly now he's just a little fucking circus clown.
Yeah, like in season 1, they never treated him like a joke or a clown or as like comedic relief or anything of the sort. He was like, despite what he looks like, he was a generally very serious character. And then in season 2, we get him playing with a bubble machine after half the council has died. Then we get him sneaking through vents and like playing spy like a fucking clown. And then he disappears for fucking half the show. And then he comes back and he fucking dies. It's like, what?
Yeah, it's wild. And again, I don't even know if he actually died. He just vanishes.
It's hard to say. It looks like it's supposed to be a death, but like, regardless of whether he vanished, whether he died, or whatever, it's just the general treatment of him in the entire season was fucking pathetic, and I hate it, because, like,
yeah.
I mentioned this on, I think it was a little Platoon stream when I was on, is that, like, actually, it might have been before the stream started, but point is, a lot of shows with a wide cast of characters, or even, like, books or whatever, there's often times that one character, it's like, oh, great, we have to deal with this character scene. Game of Thrones, every time a Sansa scene came up, I was like, oh, okay, fine, we have to go through this, I guess. I just wasn't invested in the character. I didn't have anything like that with season 1 of Arcane, because I genuinely enjoyed the stories being told with each character. There's no character that I outright hated in terms of, like, God, we have to deal with one of these character scenes.
I would say another aspect of season 1 was that every single character's story was directly tied into the plot, the same plot of Silco's rise to power and fall.
Yeah.
Every single character was tied into that. Here, there are so many ancillary things like, oh, we can do time travel now, so we can give Echo his ability. We were in multiple different universes. We got to do that. We got to do Victor's whole thing about learning about the Arcane. And, oh, we got to go over here to Ambessa and her whole weird plots and, you know, trying to be Game of Thrones but not understanding anything about Game of Thrones stuff. It's fucking weird.
There's a question. Did the whole, like, Black Rose thing feel super half-baked to you and just, like, didn't really go anywhere? I know it unlocked Mel's magic power, but, like,
it came out of nowhere, and it went nowhere.
Yeah.
Because Mel just like, I see your face, deceiver. Ha-ha, cover girl, and then gets thrown away, and it's like, what?
Yeah,
what?
You don't even know what happened to the, I don't even know what to call that character. Do they have a name, the Deceiver?
I don't know who the fuck it was.
Oh, it's so frustrating. And then, okay, I'm not, just for everyone in chat, I'm not familiar with, I should say I'm not super familiar with the lore of League of Legends. After watching Season 1, I kind of poked around a bit on the wiki articles to see which characters were from the games and stuff. But, like, I'm not super into the lore of League of Legends, but they added Ambessa as a new hero to League of Legends because of the show. It's like, okay, that's cool. Because, like, you're willing to integrate the lore, like, the characters from the show into the game. I think that's a really fucking cool thing. You know, if Season 2 had stuck the landing. But then she fucking dies at the end, so you've got a brand new hero into the game, released only a month before the show came out, I think, and she's already dead in the lore. Like, what? What the fuck?
Oh, I will agree with you, Sarah, that Warwick was the most upsetting thing for me, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
Oh, there's so many things.
One of the things I want to point out is, like, how they they want the payoffs for everything, but they don't do any of the setup work.
Yeah.
Like, suddenly Ambessa had this entire plot so that she could do an intentionally failed assassination attempt to then get Caitlyn installed as the benevolent dictator, basically.
Yeah.
But they didn't do anything with it. We don't see anything. It's just after the fact. Suddenly there's flashbacks to stuff we had no way of seeing. Where they're totally doing deals on the side, man. This was all set up. It's like, not for the audience. We didn't see shit. It just suddenly Ambessa and the fucking Noxians are there, and they kill the would-be assassins, and then that was it. And then suddenly later on, it's like, oh, they were in league with the assassins all along. Haha, isn't that clever?
Which, by the way, is immensely fucking stupid, because just an episode later, after Jayce disappears, she's like, why is there so much incompetence in this city? The moment we get here, everyone who is useful disappears. It's not a coincidence. It's like, motherfucker, you almost got Jayce killed.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're doing your, like, gay-op little plan to fucking get Caitlyn into power so you could control her from the shadows, but if Jayce is one of the key people to your plan, maybe it's a good idea to not leave him alone with a chainsaw-wielding psychopath who wants to fucking kill him.
Yeah.
Like, he would have he almost died. Not only several times, but he got slashed in the back, and he's fucking lucky that didn't cripple him. But he outright would have died if Vi didn't save up with his hammer to, blast, I don't even know her name. Blast that bitch away with the chainsaw.
Yeah.
It's like, that would have fucked over your plan, you dumb bitch.
What's even weirder is that they pull the same shit again, where suddenly, well, I mean, after they show that Caitlyn is genuinely a dog shit piece of shit human being, that her new lover that she's now also cheating on, by the way, was actually a Noxian agent all along. It's like, what?
That, I feel like that was not planned from the start. That just comes too far out of left field to be believable. Where it's like, she's introduced where Vi is passed out drunk in the gutter, and she's like, oh, hey, you're this person we've heard about, you're super inspiring, I love you, blah, 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 blah. To suddenly, well, like, she's just a part of the core team now for some reason, even though she's a newbie.
Yeah, and no one had ever seen her before?
Yeah, she's part of the group that goes down with Caitlyn and Vi into Zon.
Yeah, she's part of the group that goes down on Caitlyn.
But she comes out of nowhere and just becomes this kind of significant character to a main character, and then sudden betrayal.
Yeah.
But that also reminds me, don't you love how they do this whole, like, I'm getting a team together, I'm going into Zon with 3 goals: capture Jinx, take out the Chem Barons, and something else, I forget. It's like they completely failed at their mission. They're around for like half an episode.
Yeah.
And it's like, why do this like big, oh, we're gonna form a team, only to dissolve them like halfway through the next episode, or whatever it was.
Yeah. It's weird. It's so weird. It's like, no, it's too dangerous for you 3 red shirts. Get out of here.
It did seem super obvious that they were there just to be, like, cannon fodder and die. And granted, two of them did die, but one of them died after being revealed as a traitor.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's like, they were just introduced to be cannon fodder to die, and then they don't die, but then when they do die, it's really like, what?
Yeah. And, like, why are we supposed to care about these characters at all when they barely have any speaking lines? Like, Big Shield Man, I don't think he had any voiced lines until, like, the last episode or 2. He was just kind of there.
Yeah, and one of his most pivotal voice lines was, arrows.
And then someone mentioned him in chat, fucking Nameless Fishman, where it's like, he literally doesn't have a line the entire time.
It's very fucking strange. And why was there suddenly war? That's the thing I don't get. It's like, aha, now even though we had control of everything, and now Caitlyn has betrayed an ally, and we can't do anything. Noxian can't be like, what the fuck? She went rogue and tried to take over as a full tyrant and everything. You know, we should depose her. No, it's like, nah, we'll just go to war with Piltover
Yeah.
and
And
prove her correct.
I'm not fully sure what the point of that is either, because, like, yeah, Ambessa's bodyguard guy that she cares about died, and obviously she would be fucking pissed off about that and want revenge, but at the same time, it feels like we're having a war just for the sake of having a war, to have an epic finale.
Yeah, it just feels like, oh, we need a way for the Noxians and Piltover to go to war.
Now,
But they don't know how to set it up.
again, I'm not super familiar with the lore, but aren't they antagonistic towards each other in the game?
Yes.
Okay, so
But
they are kind of enemies.
because war is cool. Yeah.
War. War
But
is fucking cool.
They had already established that in this timeline of Arcane's lore, they were like mellowing. The tensions were cooling. They were actually having trade agreements between each other. That's part of what the Hex Gate was good for. Was it was actually bringing like all these disparate factions closer together so they could start like unifying. Part of becoming allies is starting to do trade deals with each other.
Yeah.
It's just so weird that Ambessa has all this power in Noxus, but she's like a character that comes out of nowhere in the lore, and Swain isn't mentioned at all until the very end, and you see Swain's Raven like is suddenly there and around, and it's just like, haha, a teaser, and
Well,
it's like,
yeah, I suppose.
where was he the whole rest of the time?
I suppose that's another question, because I think it's in season. Yeah, it's in season 1 where we get the scene where, like, Mel's a child and she wants to spare this like princess character, and then Ambessa's like, no, we can't, because she'll rise up against us in the future, and she kills her as a way of like teaching Mel a lesson. So that gave me the impression that Ambessa and I guess her clan were a lot higher station than what they appear to be. I thought she was almost like a queen type character, you know, like leading her people, as opposed to, no, she's just a warlord.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand how you would come to that, but I guess I shouldn't have assumed that Swain was going to be the Supreme General, but I don't know. It's just weird because they set up stuff so well in season 1 and actually have the actual setups and then payoffs to what they set up that a lot of stuff in season 2 feels like, oh, we need this thing to happen. How can we make it happen?
Yeah. Just quickly, True Pop is in chat, and someone suggested bringing him in. I'm fine with bringing him in. I'm fine with bringing a bunch of people in if there's other YouTubers who want to talk about it.
Yeah.
That's up to him. I'll let True Pop message me on Discord if he wants in.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah,
I don't think we want to go too heavy on it because then we'll never get anything.
Yeah, I don't want to get 10 people in here, but you know, if there's a couple other people that we've had on before and they want to join, you know, sure. But yeah, a lot of this season absolutely feels like style over substance, and like that's the one positive I can really say about season 2 is, oh hey, the animation is still fucking top notch. It's just, it feels wasted on this because everything else is so shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
This animation style is genuinely like really fucking nice and beautiful, and I like it.
Yep.
And yeah.
True Pop said, yeah, sure, in the chat itself.
All right, I will create a group DM and we can start a call.
Yep.
Oh no, it's a lizard.
Incorrect.
Um, I want to talk about Savika's arm.
Yes.
This
Oh
is
my
one.
god.
This is one of the things that frustrated the fuck out of me on the first viewing, and like obviously through the first act, the first 3 episodes, um, there's a lot of things that I found off-putting. It's like maybe they can save it with the next 3 episodes, but
So you
Savika's
didn't like the jackpot of Jinx. You didn't like that mechanic, I'm guessing.
no.
Fuck no.
So
You're
just
You're
for
in
this,
combat to the death, and every time, and you're gonna roll the dice on, hey, is my arm gonna blow me up? Is my arm gonna turn into a snappy jaw? Am I gonna
Like,
get a gun? I don't
yeah.
fucking.
Like, if you're playing something like Team Fortress 2 and you have the roll the dice mod, sure, fine, whatever, it's a fucking video game. But, like, I find this so immensely frustrating because it's like, you're in a fight, you want to know what your weapon does. If you have an arm like she does, do you want the punchy arm or do you want the fucking launchy bitey arm? Well, good fucking luck because you might get the wrong one. And I need to point this out too. You notice how they only did it for that one fight. And then when she fought against Caitlyn, she didn't use those like, you see a couple of things happen, but you don't see the whole slot machine gimmick on that. And then they fucking remove the arm from her.
Yes. It's like as if a different writer came in and was like, that's fucking stupid.
And like it should go without saying, and like just for the sake of completeness, when you're in a fight, you want to know what your weapon does. If you're like shooting at someone and you've got a revolver, you want all those bullets to work. You don't want normal bullets randomly mixed in with blanks, because that could fuck you over and get you killed.
Or to be more accurate to how the Jinx arm fucking works, you don't want a normal bullet, an armor-piercing bullet, a hollow point bullet, and then one bullet that's so loaded with powder it explodes the fucking revolver.
And one bullet that's just the little flag that says "POW" on a stick that you see in cartoons.
Oh god.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Like, Jinx is a friend of hers, right?
Not really.
No.
Well, okay, maybe she's trying to help out in a fight or whatever. Like, are you trying to help her, or are you trying just to have some fun? Like, what's the idea here?
Have some fun, because Jinx is supposed to be mentally ill.
Yeah, she's like almost chaos incarnate, as far as I understand it. So her making something that stupid, I mean,
I can believe she would make it.
I believe she would make it,
but I wouldn't believe that she would.
Is she trying to win this fight or not? It's just like, what's the deal here?
Also, in regards to that fight, why didn't Smeech fucking run away when he realized he was outmatched?
That would be in character for him.
I don't.
Again, I know we didn't have much time because only 9 episodes, but I kind of like the character Smeech, what little we got of him. It feels like, oh yeah, we're just gonna kill him now because, sure.
Yeah, this show should not have been 2 seasons, like, at all.
No, it should have been at minimum 3, but preferably 4, 5, 6 seasons to fully like deal with all the characters and plot lines.
Yeah. Because again, it feels like the way it was, they released first 3 episodes, then a week later, next 3, then a week later, next 3. It feels like each of those should have been their own fucking season, so that we could have had the actual build-up to the payoffs for those.
Yep.
Yeah. And also, just quickly, that's ignoring a lot of the Tizzy other stuff, where it's like, oh yeah, the characters you know from the games, we never get to see them in the show, like Victor.
Yeah.
Or Warwick. Jesus Christ, that is not Warwick.
Yeah.
The thing is, all right, I'll mention 2 things that I kind of liked, but it's not enough to save the show in any regard. I liked Warwick. I like Vander returning. You know, spoilers, I suppose. Sorry about that. Yeah. But yeah, I like that idea of him returning. I don't think it was done justice in those 2 episodes, basically. And I kind of liked the Powder and Echo relationship, even though the circumstances surrounding that was tismy with, shenanigans of time travel and stuff like that. It just there's little nuggets in here that I okay, but everything leading up to it is just terrible.
Well,
Yeah.
just quickly on the whole trying to save Vander thing, what bugs me about that is we spend so much time on Victor going through, I guess, Vander / Warwick psyche or whatever, where they're in the, like,
Mm-hmm.
fucked up cosmos of his mind where you see all the wolf faces that are obscuring Vander. It's like, okay, I could see what you're doing here, but it ultimately all feels like a waste, especially like, oh yeah, he goes in, we get this another fucking music video that's showing his
Oh, the
memories,
music videos.
and then like
Oh.
it seems like at first it's like, oh yeah, we're going to show his memories, and then everything just becomes Vi Powder and then her mother, and like basically nothing of Vander, like who he used to be, nothing, like you don't, I know we get to see
Kids either.
hmm?
Like they don't do the other kids either.
Yeah, they don't do the other
Yeah.
kids
Yeah,
either.
the other two were his children as well.
We don't
He
even
made
get
that very clear.
we don't even get to see his memories of him and Silco when they were friends,
And
because it just
that
all becomes, and then all of it goes to waste because it doesn't go anywhere. So it feels like a fucking
Right.
waste of time. I'll be right
Wait,
back.
and okay.
I'm still
So-
listening. I just need to grab my food.
Yeah.
All right. So about that, what Creature said. So Vander isn't the biological dad of V and Powder.
No. He finds them. That's at the start of season 1. Remember?
Oh, okay.
The Civil War ends in the very, very beginning of season 1, episode 1. That shows the ending of the Civil War. The
Okay.
enforcers
Yeah.
execute all of the Zonians, all the people from the lanes that rose up. They're being executed. Vander's walking around on the battlefield. He drops his gauntlets and he picks up Vi and Powder, who saw their parents get executed.
Okay. And Vander knew the mum beforehand.
Yes.
Okay. Something that disturbs me as well. Powder's mum, Vi's mum, looks a lot like Caitlyn. Is that just me?
Yeah. There's a
I
lot of
guess
weirdness.
Freud is right. You are attracted to your own mother. Like, geez. You can at least make the design a little different. But hey, it was weird with the memories and all of that, because again, we got like music videos of like a weird art style. Apparently, Vander and Silco were miners. No, not those kind of miners. The miners that mine.
They were going for the precious mineral.
I don't. Was that ever mentioned in season 1?
No, I don't remember that. I just I even rewatched season 1, and they just talked
Mhm.
about their combined dream to make the nation state of Zon. So
I mean, that could have been expanded on, but okay, it just seems
Actually,
a bit weird.
That's one of the
Yeah?
things that kind of seems out of place to me is I'm not sure I fully buy all these additional backstories for Vander and Silco that didn't seem set up before. Like, okay, they were both friends with the mother of Vi and Powder, and that seems to come again out of left field because in season 1 it seems like they're just random kids who lost their parents that he happened to
Yeah,
have
exactly.
found. And
Yeah.
then suddenly we get this additional backstory. No, he actually secretly knew them this entire time. We just didn't get that set up.
which I think actually undermines it. I think it's
Yeah.
more powerful that he stopped fighting just for 2 children he didn't know.
Yeah.
That's more powerful than him like, oh no, I knew your mother and father. There they got executed. Oh no.
Yeah.
Notice we never see the dad either.
Yeah. And also
That's
just
all.
additionally feels weird that Silco, when we get the flashback, knew about this woman and her kid. The three of them seem to be friends. And then in season 1, he wants to kill Vi and Powder, to the point, like, when he adopts Powder, he went there to kill her. Because he had the knife. And it's only
Hmm.
when he realized that, like, he kind of sees himself in her, and that's when he decides to adopt her instead of kill her. It's like, these are the children of someone who used to be your friend, who, like, didn't even wrong you. Like, I know
Yep.
you hate Vander for trying to kill. And by the way, we didn't even get anything more on that backstory in particular.
No.
Which, if we're going to explore the history of Vander and Silka, we should see some more of, like, why they came to fight each other and hate each other.
Yeah.
It
We
just
don't.
seemed
We don't.
like
Yeah.
someone was remembering season 1 from memory.
Well,
I'm
that's
not
we don't-
actually. Yeah.
that's something I said to Setch before the start of the stream. Is it feels like whatever they had for, like, planned for season 2 is scrapped entirely, and then they just swerved and made an entirely new thing. That's how hard the shift
Yeah.
from season 1 to 2 feels in
Mm.
all the characters and plot lines and everything.
I did want to mention Jinx. I had issues with Jinx.
Oh.
A lot of
Right.
issues
So
with Jinx.
remember when people said like, "Oh, Jinx is awesome in this show, absolutely spectacular. This is how you do a crazy Harley Quinn."
For season
What
1.
did?
No, season 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see,
And
that's...
what did they do here? Turn her into like a modern day Harley Quinn. You know, the one that we all hate.
Yeah, that's one of the most
And they got rid of
frustrating
her
things.
craziness.
Yeah, it's one of
Yeah.
the most frustrating things for me, because the entire point of the finale of season 1 is she is fully embracing being Jinx. Powder is dead. She is Jinx now. She is
Mm.
this being of chaos and essentially evil, you know?
Yeah.
And then
She committed a horrific terrorist attack.
yeah, and then we get to season 2 and oh look, she's all depressed now and she adopted a child and she wants to kind of sort of be a good person. She's not like they completely backtracked her entire character arc of season 1 and fucking ruined her.
Throughout season 1, I was like, okay, when is Vi going to talk to Jinx? Like that relationship, I think, was one of the most interesting things about the show. Like, how are these sisters going to confront each other?
Yeah.
And here, it's just all of that is taken for granted, absolutely granted, and it's just nowhere near the same. And Jinx is funny. Like there was like the scene where she joked around with a guard. It's just like Jinx would just shoot him. No.
Yeah, that really seemed like an instance of Marvel humor, and it was
Yeah.
fucking obnoxious as shit. Like, she steps
Yeah.
out from behind cover to reveal herself to a guard. Keep in mind, she's the most wanted person in the fucking city. Everyone
Correct.
should know what she looks like. And the guard is like, yeah, right, you're not Jinx. You look
Jinx,
like a
yeah.
half-eaten circus tent. It's like, bruh.
I'm telling you, it's Harley Quinn. Like they watched it and they thought, oh, this is the character, right? It's just no, no, it isn't. Uh, it's so sad to see. And do we discuss? I guess we do discuss spoilers, right? And
Oh
the
yeah, I
character
said at the start, we're spoiling all season 1 and 2. There's
Yeah.
nothing hold back here. I don't want to have an 8-hour long stream, but I did
Mm.
want to do a stream talking about this because it fucking frustrated me so much. I'm also making a video on it, but I
Nice.
really wanted to do the stream to just talk about it with people.
Yep, makes sense. Absolutely. I've been thinking about doing it as well, but can't find the time. But yeah, Jinx. What was the use in her dying towards the end? Because she dies when the main threat is eliminated, when Victor is defeated. You know, all his troops go down. Ambessa is dead.
Actually, that raises a question. If all of his troops went down when he,
Oh,
when
why
Jayce
is
freed
Victor?
him, why
Why is
is
Vander?
Warwick, Vander still, like, crystal murder golem thing?
That is a good question.
I guess it's implied that Vander did finally get erased from the creature's memory, but I don't
She
know.
should be.
Back.
Oh, you left?
Sorry, I said BRB, but you were right in the middle of something.
Oh, I
Oh.
I had to go get
didn't
some.
hear that.
I'm
I'm
burning my
sorry.
tongue. These noodles I had are way too spicy.
It's just like you kill off Jinx after every big bad guy is dead, and for some reason Warwick is still alive. That just seems really convenient to me. Why not kill her off before the big bad is down?
Apparently, it's implied she survived.
Oh, really?
It's. I've seen people talking about it being implied, and there's like this one shot of someone, I can't remember if it's Vi or Caitlyn, but they're looking through the plans for the big orb thing, and it's like, oh look, there's a passage off to the side that maybe someone could have landed in, and but that also brings me back to the fight in episode 3 that I wanted to talk about, where so Vi and Caitlyn got rid of the rest of their squad. They got rid of all the red shirts to go after Jinx alone. And it was during this fight where I was really starting to check out in the first arc, where it's like, okay, we're having this fight, but none of these characters are gonna fucking die. Because it's too soon to take care of this, and if they are bold enough to kill these characters, they're not gonna do it now. But if they aren't gonna kill heroes from the game, then all of them just have plot armor. Now, I wasn't entirely wrong, because they all did survive that fight. And in just the most ridiculous way. So, as all that's happening, Jayce, Heimerdinger, and Echo are checking out the base of the Hex Gate to find the fucking magic Tism orb that sends them into the Tism realm, which, that's a whole can of worms on its own. But them messing with that starts fucking up the Hex Tech gun and gloves that Cade and Vi are using. Which allows...
Why? Never explained.
Also, just so conveniently makes it so Jinx doesn't get killed there, because she absolutely would have fucking died if that didn't happen.
Yeah. And the worst part about it is, like, these things aren't connected to the Hex Gates or anything like that, or the Hex Tech stuff. That was the whole point of them being an independent orb in the first season.
I think...
Remember, that was Heimerdinger
it's
worried about.
Not well explained, but I think what they're going for is that it's magic in general. So because the Hex Tech uses the magic orbs, and they're interacting with the corrupted Tism orb, that's affecting all the magic-related things in the area. See, that's the problem, is it's not clearly explained. Yeah. Which is super fucked up, considering the first season had really good world building, and now it's just, hey, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, chat, yeah, I didn't know. I last few minutes of the show, I just checked out, like, okay, I'm done. All right, let's play.
This season... The season was written by bitch-ass cowards. Jinx survived, it's not debatable. So that's one thing I'm going to say, too. People might have different thoughts on this, whether game heroes should survive or not, being in the show. I think they should absolutely be open to being killed, as long as their lore fits the lore with the game.
Yeah, and much further on in the story too, as well. Like,
well, not just that, but considering we only had 2 seasons, at the end of the first arc, I was like, okay, Jinx has to fucking die by the end. She's a terrorist. She's this fucking horrible person that's killed how many people now? She's a monster. She's the most wanted. There's no way to resolve this in, like, a satisfying way that allows her to live. She needs to fucking die in episode 7 or in episode 9, and either Kate or Vi has to be the one to kill her. And then, of course, we get the fucking self-sacrifice moment, and oh look, she escaped through an air duct somehow, because, you know, I guess gravity doesn't kill you.
Apparently, the show writers are constantly, like, saying, these weren't in the episode, but this is totally what we intended. Like, all over the place.
Cope. By the way, was Jayce a League of Legends hero?
Yes, he was. So, I looked up a bunch of the characters to see who was and wasn't from the games, because I wasn't sure either when I watched Season 1. Kate, Vi, Jinx, Victor, Jayce, Heimerdinger, Singed, Warwick are all characters from the game. I feel like I'm missing one.
Right.
Ambessa.
Who
Well,
was
Ambessa
Jayce
is
exactly?
now, but they
I
only
thought
just
he was.
added her,
Yeah,
so
fair.
she doesn't really. I'm not really counting her.
See, I thought I didn't know Jayce was I've read the wiki a little bit too. Not very experienced with the game, but I thought Jayce was going to fuse with Victor and make that black armored guy because Jayce was like wearing black armor. I can't remember the name of the.
Oh, like more. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he was like in black armor and had like a third, like a Otto Octavius arm with laser in it.
Victor.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I want to talk about because that was one of the most disappointing things for me. Because, like I said, I watched season 1, and I got interested in like who the characters were for the games, and then you get to Victor's like wiki page and you see what he looks like in the game. It's like, oh shit. Okay, this is a cool fucking looking character. I can't wait to see this guy in the show. And obviously, the wiki mentions, oh yeah, there's him and Jayce used to be friends, and now they're kind of mortal enemies. It's like, fuck, I really want to see this character arc where, like, it's going to be tragic, but these characters come to hate each other, and Victor becomes the Machine Herald. It's like, fucking give this to me. Oh my god. And season 1 just such a slow burn on it too. It's like, oh my god, I can't wait. And then they don't do that at all. Victor becomes fucking crystal meth Jesus healing people, and like we never see
But
the Machine Herald. We see
for some reason he's the mage as well from the start. That gives him
that doesn't make any sense.
It's implied that the mage in season 1 was Ryze, Ryze, because actually, I'm gonna go grab the episode quickly. I won't be able to bring it up on stream for people to see, but I want to check for myself if I think that was episode 2 that had the no. Hold on. Was it episode 2? Yes,
Did he
it
have
was.
Yeah. He had to explain to cancel. I haven't watched season 1 in a while. I should probably. It's hard to watch it now with knowing what happens, but
Yeah.
it's good stuff anyway. How
Yeah, so
long did
just-
we wait for this show, by the way? Like 2, 3 years?
3 years,
3
I
years.
believe. Okay, so he doesn't have the giant scroll, but
Nope.
It absolutely does not look like it's Victor there.
No. I mean, again, I sent you a picture of like him with the runes and stuff. It looks more like that. Granted, he's not wearing a hood or anything, but
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure the ability he uses to teleport there too is also like his ability from the game, isn't it?
yeah, realm warp.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just, again, I find it immensely disappointing that you look into the lore of the game and you see what these characters look like in the game. And it's like, okay, Jayce is kind of there, Jinx is there, Vi is kind of mostly there, and then you see Victor. It's like, holy shit, I want to see this character, and we never get Victor the Machine Herald.
Yeah.
I talked to Nerd Wars. He's kind of a League of Legends nerd, and he was hoping to see this Dracula figure, and he's part of the Black Rose. And it was just that freaking witch in the Black Rose. Like I remember, like episode 3, like, oh, that teasing the Black Rose. That might be teasing this guy. I'd love to see this guy. He's a part of this whole Illuminati kind of thing, and blah 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 blah. And he made it sound really interesting. And then it was just that witch. It was just that witch that kidnapped people.
To be fair, it could have been the guy. We don't get who. They're just like, she just says, "I know your true face, deceiver." Ha, clever girl. Then it's done. It's like what? Like what the fuck happened there? What? Who was it? So that wasn't their real face. What was their real face? Who was it?
Tier Obatil in chat says Vladimir.
Yeah. But I mean, they
Yeah.
don't. What I'm saying is they don't show at all who the actual
one.
deceiver is
Yeah, which
in the
is
show.
immensely frustrating.
And it's like, what? Like, you just see Black Tism monster with yellow glowing eyes. And she's like, I know your true face, deceiver. And the deceiver turns is like, clever. And then she just disapparates and just go away, be gone, and it's done.
Yeah, it's
what?
just over and done with. And again, this is the big problem with only having 2 seasons. And yeah, I know they're launching a bunch of shows off this. Why the fuck would I watch any of those after this?
Yeah.
I was invested in this world and these characters and the story they had going here, only for them to fucking dump everything out and swerve and fuck everything up.
I remember I don't know if he's the showrunner or the writer, but he mentioned that this Arcane season 1 was a huge passion project. He worked on it for many, many years, got rejections time after time after time. He had to constantly work on the script. He put so much effort into it. And what the hell happened here? Why did that same level of quality, why didn't it continue to season 2? What happened? That's my question.
Yeah, I don't know what could have happened behind scenes to fuck everything up this much.
I remember Gary mentioned that, Nedrotic, that every season 2 of a Netflix show goes to shit.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I've
it
heard
seems so.
multiple people mention that. Mahler mentioned it as well on, was it Open Bar or Real BBC?
I'm just trying to think. Is there an exception?
I'll be honest, I haven't watched too many Netflix shows, so it's hard for me to say. I guess
It makes me worried about Squid Game as well, season 2.
I guess the Haunting series, like Haunting of Hill House and Haunting of Bly Manor, they're technically the same series because they count them as season 1 and 2. And I've heard Bly Manor is actually really good, so I guess that might be an exception.
Yeah. I don't know why they would count them as the same, though.
Yeah, that is weird, especially when you use the same actors.
Yep.
Yeah.
As different characters. Just quickly, I do want to grab this comment in chat. Riot showed behind the scenes work in progress picture of a hooded man, and it definitely wasn't Victor. Tier Obatil, I don't know if you're in the Discord or not, but if you are, can you send that to me, please?
That'll be useful for something later, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, we could also bring it up on stream if he has the picture of it, but I could also use that for the video to talk about,
Yeah.
Like, Victor is one of the things I find most disappointing. I know we talked about Heimerdinger, that's one of the most frustrating ones for me, but Victor is just so disappointing, because the build-up for him in Season 1 was so good.
Yeah.
I think I was most disappointed in Warwick. Because they have so much... They have great build-up for him, and they have absolutely great moments of tension for him, and then they just keep neutering him all over the place for no reason.
Don't you love how he fucking tears apart a bunch of guards and, like, other people with no effort at all, but Ambessa just survives with scratches on her mask, and Jinx, like, goes toe-to-toe with him one-on-one and survives practically uninjured?
Yeah. It's fucking wild.
Yeah.
Wait, it was so fucking frustrating because that gets into the whole thing of what the fuck was Ambessa doing there at the prison?
Yeah, and
she had literally no reason to be there.
We talked about this before. Again, I can't remember if it was on Pagan stream or off stream, but
she
was there for the...
It was on Pagans for sure. I remember.
Yeah.
Well,
but like she was there for the interrogation of the one dude that was arrested before, and that's how they found out about going to the statue. Okay, but that was hours ago. That was before they brought everyone in. And Singed isn't they only just captured Singed, but they don't understand the significance of him yet, so she's not there to interrogate him. So why the fuck is she there?
Yeah, I don't understand.
And honestly...
There's nothing there for her. All it was just a corralling of dissidents. That's all it was.
what's worse than that is the fact that like if you remove her from the scene, it just improves the scene because you don't have her surviving. Like it feels like the only reason she was there was to have that very brief moment of tension of, oh look, Jinx is bringing in Savika and they're acting as though Jinx is a guard, and oh look, Ambessa is looking towards her. Is she gonna figure it out?
Right.
And then
That
yeah, it just doesn't go anywhere. Oh fuck!
well,
No, I wasn't muted.
I wanted to mention as well. So the doctor, I forget his name. I'm bad with names. I'm good at recognizing the characters. Just
The guy with the
forget the names.
half-burned face that talked to
Yes.
Victor.
That's
Singed.
Singed. Yeah.
Cinch. Okay, so he cut his arm, let his blood drip to lure Warwick into the prison so he can escape. But if for some reason he stayed,
No. He explains why he stayed, but it's also really fucking weird. Because originally he was going to escape with Warwick, but then he saw that the inner Vander within Warwick recognized Powder, and he realized, wait a minute.
I missed this scene. What?
Yeah, because that was him discussing that, like, why he chose to stay. Everybody else escaped. Why did you stay? And he explains why. Because he couldn't find the right catalyst to bring the man back from the monster. And then he saw when Vander looked at Powder and went back to normal, he realized that was the right catalyst. So that's what he needed. Because remember, his whole goal is to bring his daughter back. Or, I assume daughter? Wife? I don't know.
It's unclear. But that also raises another question for me. So, he needs Vander to come back because that's part of, like, the whole cure thing, right?
Yes, he needs to prove that a person can come back from the Shimmer.
Okay.
And it'd be good. Because that's why he created Shimmer to begin with. It wasn't for Silco's weapons program. It was for, his daughter, wife, whatever.
Couldn't he have done this in a better way than getting himself in prison? Like this really
No, he
doesn't make
didn't
sense
plan
to me.
on going into prison. None of this was planned. He didn't plan on Powder being there. He didn't plan on anything. That's why he was going to leave. And then this happened, like, unexpectedly, and he decided to change his variable.
All of that is just making my head hurt. Like where everyone is, what everyone's doing.
Yeah, they explain it, but they explain it really stupidly. It's frustrating because it's part of the interrogation, basically.
So here's the other part of that I wanted to ask though. When he's trying to, like, I don't know, get the life-saving juice from Warwick later on in the show, he's like, oh yeah, to do this we'll completely destroy the man inside. And that's why Victor turns it down. So I thought, like, how does that work? So we need the man inside to be saved to come back out so we could get the life-saving juice, which will destroy him.
Which would destroy Victor, not Warwick. That's what Singed was saying, was like, no, you will destroy yourself if you do this.
Well, I'm talking about Singed getting the life-saving juice from Warwick, which will destroy the man inside.
That's the part where it gets weird, because Singed is also trying to save Victor. He's trying to do the same thing he did in Season 1, where the mutation must survive.
Yeah.
And for some reason, the life-saving juice only works on Vander because he's tolerant to pain, which is...
Well, no, they
kind of
make the life-saving juice from him. Because he has a stronger will to live or something.
Yeah, it's his will to fight that has kept him even remotely there, and that's what Victor found, was that he's barely present inside Warwick. I'm just gonna call him Notwick from now on, because he's not fucking Warwick.
It is fucking frustrating.
I don't buy that. Like, why is it specific to Vander? Like, no.
So Tyr Obatil did send me the image on Discord. I just posted in our chat.
Nice.
That's the let me get it up on whatchamacallit.
Oh, wow. Whose beard does that look like?
That looks like
Victor's,
Rise.
of course.
Whose beard does that look like?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Taking a little while to get the image up. Sorry about that. Alright, so this is one of the work in progress images from season 1, I believe. Showing what the mage looks like that saved Jayce in episode 2. When he gets his flashback to when he was a child. And that does not look like Victor. That looks a lot like Riot. Such, can you grab that image of Rise again for me, please? Oh, never mind, you already did it.
Yep.
Thank you. Alright, so chat. Look at this man's beard. Alright. Now look at this man's beard. Ah. That looks pretty fucking similar, doesn't it?
Yeah. And you can ignore the skin coloration. Like, that is obviously something that can happen from just messing with the Arcane.
Yeah.
As we've seen with Shimmer and everything, too, they are totally fine with characters dramatically changing skin color.
Well, one thing that we can be sure, it's not Victor.
Yeah.
It's not Victor.
This wasn't planned. This was definitely probably during the writing and filming. I mean, animation, yeah, they can change anything at any time, you know?
Yeah. What the hell, he's blue? He's technically, yeah. He's blue with purple. Technically, he's more purple with a darker shade of purple, but yeah.
Okay, remember when part 2, by the way, launched? And of season 2, part 2 of season 2, like the 3 episodes.
Mm.
And we were like all thinking, okay, Jayce has to have a really good reason
Oh my god.
destroy this utopia.
Shit, yeah.
Oh, I hate it so
God.
much. So, just in case anyone in chat hasn't seen season 2, just so we're all on the same level. I mentioned it earlier. Jayce, Heimerdinger, and Echo go to the bottom of one of the Hex Gates because they're seeking the source of corruption that's killing Echo's tree in his fucking hippie commune. And when they go down there, they get sent to the Tism Realm. What is the Tism Realm? I don't fucking know.
It's different for every person, except Echo and Heimerdinger get to tag along with each other. For what reason? Who fucking knows? It just works out.
I had a brief theory on that ended up being untrue that I want to talk about, but we'll do that after. So they go to the Tism Realm, and they see this corruption orb, and it's unclear what it is. It's just this like menacing thing that exists in what seems to be like not an alternate reality, but in a different phase of reality, I guess, on top of the Hex Gate. Yeah. And it's like, oh shit, this looks like something that could fuck everything up horribly. And so they touch it and they get corrupted by it, and then we don't see them for fucking like 3 episodes until Jayce randomly pops out of it, and he looks like he's been through hell and back, and there just so happens to be one of the Piltover counselors there grabbing something for Victor. This guy got crippled and Victor healed him, and Jayce is like, I can't let you leave, and kills him. And Victor's like, oh, that is not Jayce. This is not good. He completely fucking forgets about him!
Yes!
Jayce made it clear that this shit needs to be destroyed, and it's obvious he's coming for Victor, and he completely forgets he exists entirely. He doesn't put up any guards, he doesn't have anyone
because the other thing you need to remember, chat, as well, is Victor can experience whatever anybody he has touched and healed experiences. He can jump to their mind on a whim.
And control their body and speak through them.
He knows Jayce is in the hippie commune right now. He knows he's coming. He's right there. He's outside the tent. He's coming in your tent. Like, what are you doing, Victor? Victor, what are you doing? Oh, you're dead.
For ages, I was wondering, okay, when is Victor going to touch him and see the reason why Jayce is insane or acting insane, and maybe talk about that? But they only reveal it during like the last fucking episode, where it's like,
Yeah.
oh no, it turns out I talked to you, Victor, and that's why I'm insane on hellbent on destroying you because you
even
told
worse.
me.
Even
It's so
worse.
stupid.
Victor's conclusion. No, the only reason that this works, the only reason that it doesn't work, by the way, but the only reason their shitty event works is because when Victor gets killed by who he says is not Jayce, Victor's conclusion isn't that, oh, maybe I should have stopped him with all that stuff I found. No, his conclusion is that it's the cycles of violence. We must break the wheel. And it's like, what?
Well,
What the...
what's also really fucking retarded and frustrating about that too is in the last episode we see what Jayce saw in the Tism dimension, where it's like, oh look, it's Victor telling him that you can't let this stuff come to pass. You're the only one who will be able to convince me to not go down this road. So Jayce's plan is to attempt to murder him and not convince him at all. Not explain anything.
Again, this actually sets into motion the thing that Jesus Victor was trying to prevent.
Yes, because we get that exact moment where Jayce is kneeling on the fucking roof of the orb with his hammer in the exact same position the fucking corpse version of him is in the Tism dimension.
Yeah, and it's like, I gotta feel a bit for Space Jesus Victor, who sent him back and was like, okay, I need you to talk to me. And you're the only one that can convince me because you're the only one that I view as a brother. All right? You gotta talk to me and talk me out of this. Otherwise, this will happen. He goes back, he fucking kills Victor instead of talking to him. And Space Jesus Victor's gotta be like, what the fuck?
Can you just
set in
imagine
motion the exact thing I wanted you to prevent.
What's even worse is like there was no indication that Jesus Victor was gonna go evil until Jayce kills him.
That's what I mean. He literally, like, he just paradoxed himself. He just set up the exact scenario. Like, okay, all I have to do to avoid destroying the future is not step on that one branch, and then you run outside and you fucking double team boot stomp it. Just, ah-ya! Oh, wait a minute. I wasn't supposed to do that.
the most effective way to convince someone to not do something is to blow a giant hole in their chest.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Fuck.
And it annoys me that Victor, at no point, even when he was raising the fucking hammer, I was like, wait, can't we talk about this? How about I read your mind, see what's going on? You have Jesus powers. Come on.
Again, he can see everything that's going on in the commune from all of the people's perspectives. He got to see Jayce sneaking in. The child is literally looking at him, and Jayce, the child actually guides him.
Guys, I was really looking like, okay, a game, this Victor guy, he's too good. He's too Jesus-y. Give me some sort of indication that he's evil. That was what I was looking for. And I didn't get it at all. Not until he died.
So I suppose that's a question we need to ask. Is Victor in the game lore evil? Or is he just like a person with a different set of morals, if that makes sense? Because I know...
I would say in game lore, he's a fanatic.
Yeah, because that's kind of...
He's a hardcore technophile.
Yeah, because I was listening to a video the other day with a lot of his voice lines, so a lot of them relate to, like, converting people to the...
His whole thing is...
I realized the weakness of my flesh, I crave the certainty of steel.
Exactly. He is literally... He is literally a fucking tech priest from Warhammer 40k. He believes that he's saving people by fusing them with machines. I can render your burdens meaningless. I can, save your lungs. I can save your life. I can give you, immortality.
Yeah.
Just by ripping you apart and rebuilding you with machine parts.
But he doesn't make anyone into a robot.
Well,
I know. He's just...
they're Tism bots, and that's part of what's frustrating, because what I saw in, like, the game lore and from his voice lines and stuff from his wiki page, seems so much more interesting to me than, oh look, he healed a bunch of people, and then through his connection to them, he turned them into a bunch of Tism robots to fight a war for Ambessa.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
Why?
And again,
was
his whole reason to even fight this war on the side of Ambessa is because he's got to stop. It's just the cycles of violence, and I've got to stop it. And I will stop it by uplifting everybody. When I uplift everybody, no one will be left behind. And then that causes the
You know what, Seth?
super future that fucking Jayce found. What?
You know what you're reminding me of with we need to stop the cycle of violence by fighting a war? It's reminding me of Fallout, where it's like, oh yeah, the factions are the problem. The only way to achieve world peace is to nuke everyone.
Yeah. Oh my
It
god.
is
It really
starting to give me those vibes.
It's so fucking weird. Again, I personally don't think Victor is evil. I think he's in game lore.
Yeah.
He's just a fanatic. That's what he is.
Yeah, he believes he has the solution to, I shouldn't say everyone's problems, but like he has the solution to life, essentially, of everyone being fleshy beings that get sick and die.
Yeah, be miserable. You've lost your loved ones to a preventable disease. If it had come to me, I could have replaced. I could have fixed them, and so that's what he's more like. But man, he
instead they turned him to a Jesus and then a anti-Jesus, I suppose, who takes away free will for some reason.
Yeah, because if he takes away everybody's free will, no one will be sad anymore. Everything will be fine, and that causes the apocalypse. Apparently,
This is the problem of chasing themes over what you've actually written.
yes.
Like, they wanted that cycles of violence kind of thing so badly that they've bent their story out of shape.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you want a cycle of violence kind of thing, you need to set up specific conditions for that. Like, I don't know, maybe a Cold War where everyone is on edge, watching each other carefully in terms of if they do anything suspicious.
Or
You
even
haven't
better,
gone there yet. Yeah.
they had this handed to them on a silver platter. Do the fucking Civil War, you cowards. The lanes rising up against Piltover has been set up the entire fucking time with all this nonsense, and now with Piltover especially going full fucking fascist on the lanes, holy shit! You want the cycles of violence? It's the constant reciprocity of violence between Piltover and the lanes, over and over and over again. An unending spiral of blood. That's all you needed. You had it set up.
I thought they were gonna, like, out of season 2, I was expecting like more League of Legends characters introduced. We only were given Warwick, to be honest. Now that I think about it. And a solid conclusion, paying off the story. It's like they didn't have anything planned. It just seems so bizarre to me. I don't know. Like, was there no plan at all?
It feels like it. Unironically, to me, feels like the J.J. Abrams Ryan Johnson situation, where you have multiple different writers with their own ideas, and they completely fuck each other over the whole way through.
Yeah.
While also fucking up the original stuff they had.
Yeah, because that's something I said at the start, True Pop, and I don't know if you caught it or not, but Season 2 feels like such a swerve from Season 1, where it's like, it feels like whatever they had planned was outright abandoned, and they just did new stuff and went in a completely different direction that wasn't properly set up at all.
Yeah.
Oh, I mentioned this. Can we talk about the kids? Jinx kid. I don't even know the name of.
God, the stupid Tism girl that fucking kills herself.
Yeah, that never speaks. She's literally just there. Which was that supposed to be? I need to see the girl again.
They completely forget about her in the last 3 episodes. Like, we are waiting like what, a week for part 3, and it's just like everyone's cheering on, like, oh, this girl's so cute, her sacrifice. And it's just like now those kind of stands on the internet are angry. They completely, and I just find that hilarious because like the writers forgot her. I even forgot her. What was the point of that child? It's just, and this
There's-
whole Jinx revolution with the blue hair. Oh my dear Lord, help me! It
So-
was just like,
Yeah, a couple things on that. First of all, it is fucking hilarious that, episode 6 has this tragic death of this child who sacrifices herself for some reason in the middle of this battle, and then they never mention or acknowledge her ever again. She's just completely
Yeah.
forgotten for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
But, you mentioned the whole, like, dyeing her hair blue and everything. It's like, why would anyone in Zon, come to worship Jinx? She's the source of all of your problems right now.
yes,
Because
Yeah.
she's, she didn't stand up to people genuinely doing wrong. She committed terrorist acts and killed people. And because of that, the city is rightfully fucking trying to do something about it because she's a fucking terrorist. So
Yeah.
why would
even
anyone
worse, like
be on her side?
they made sure to heavily showcase how fucked and how far Jinx was in the wrong by ensuring the council literally voted to give Zon freedom and make them an ally at the very fucking end, right as the fucking warhead is coming in. Like, holy shit. If she had literally done nothing, if she had had one of her tism fit mental illness breaks, the Zon and the lanes would have been better off. But no, for whatever reason, they're like, and again, this gets brought up for why they're like, we trusted you, we were going to give you what you wanted, and to thank us, you murder us.
Yep.
Nah, fuck you, lanes. You trenchers get exactly what you deserve.
Yeah. It's like an echo to the first, no, the third episode, was it? Yeah. Where she really wants to get involved. She does get involved and kills people and makes the situation a lot worse, hence her name. That you're just going to jinx it when you get involved.
Yeah, that was the beautiful thing of it. Like, you can understand in season 1, Vi's reaction is entirely understandable because Jinx just killed their adopted, but Jinx just killed half their fucking family. Holy shit. Like, it's understandable why Vi punches her. Well, technically slaps the shit out of her, but
Oh yeah,
what did they do?
someone mentioned in a chat too, and this is like a huge fucking problem. They never found out she killed Silco too. It
Yeah.
never gets. Actually, it does get brought up once when Smeech captures Jinx, and she mentions that, oh yeah, she killed him. Which, how does no one know?
Yeah. Silco was like the new Vander of the lanes.
Yeah.
Like, again, the point being though is that he couldn't live up to Vander's shadow. That's kind of what Silco realizes near the end of his lifespan.
That's actually one of my favorite moments in all of like one of my top moments in all of fiction is Silco at the Vander statue saying, "Oh, I understand now, brother, how undoing having a daughter is. They were willing to give me everything, and like they didn't even bargain. But all I have to do is give up Jinx." And especially at that moment at the very end where she shot him, he's dying, he has no reason to lie. And he tells her to her face, "I would have chosen you." Holy fuck. That is absolutely one of my favorite character moments of all time.
Yeah, he turned into Vander, yeah.
Not just that, but like his whole life goal of like having Zon be free from Piltover, have it be its own independent state. And he's willing to sacrifice it for his adopted daughter.
Yep.
And he realizes everything Vander went through and why he did it.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
That was like one of the single greatest parts about season 1. Like, holy shit. Him coming back full circle. Again, because he and Vander were best friends. And they even said, like, you were a brother to me. And Vander said it basically killed him inside that he tried to kill Silco. That whole thing ate him up, and he felt awful for the remainder of his life. He still feels awful to that moment. He can't bring himself to want to fight or hurt Silco because of what he did before. And then it comes all the way back around to now Silco standing exactly where Vander was and realizing that he would have made the same exact choice Vander did.
Yep. It is so good, and that's part of the reason why I like season 1 so much. Like I said, one of my favorite all-time character moments in any piece of media.
And now
And then they
compare
fuck
that
it all up in season 2.
compare that beautiful piece of writing to people getting the shit beaten out of them for having their hair dyed blue.
No. Compare that beautiful piece of writing to the Vi, I thought you were dead. Kate, it's good to see you. Vi, I need you to know. I found someone. I don't care. Let's fuck.
And they do it in a dingy
my
prison
God.
cell.
Yes.
And I don't know who said this, but one of the showrunners, I suppose, said that scene was supposed to be even more spicier, but Netflix wouldn't let them.
You could tell they were bending over backwards to make that happen. It comes out of nowhere. It makes no fucking sense. And then the obvious logical thing is like, okay, so Caitlyn is just a whore. Got it.
Right, yeah. Oh, did you guys
So
see...
now she's going to have to... And what it was funny was like, now she's going to have to deal with the consequences of betraying the one girl. And it's like, oh no, the one girl's actually a Noxian agent. It's totally fine.
Yeah. It's like... I wanted to mention before we get to Maddie, was her name? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the Chinese version of like the final scene?
Yes, I have. I've seen the Chinese. Using the Chinese version. Oh, it's they didn't even try. They just edited out. They literally just took the model and deleted the model from the scene.
Oh.
And so they're like, Caitlyn's like leaning on thin air, and then Vi is leaning on thin air, and it's like, what is happening?
Oh, that's so funny.
That is super duper convenient that there is no love triangle, and Maddie did decide to fucking betray her randomly.
Yeah, exactly. So that way, Caitlyn can be
I
totally
hate
justified.
What the hell was the point of Maddie? Like, what was the point? Like,
again, Maddie's inclusion into this love triangle.
All
it did was show that Caitlyn was a fucking
horror.
Actually made Caitlyn look really fucking bad.
Did Vi cheat on someone? I don't think so throughout this entire show.
Yeah, it's one of the funniest things though is like the way it's filmed, the way it's shown in the show is like she literally like, you know, Vi and Caitlyn. It's like Vi and Caitlyn relationship is now done. Maddie's now gonna scissor in my bed. Like, it wasn't even like a moment of like sorrow or anything. It just suddenly Maddie's in the bed now. Like what?
One thing I have to give the show praise for is accurately portraying lesbian relationships.
Yeah, they especially with the fisticuffs and fighting each other.
Yeah. And one, you know, betraying them and shooting them in the back. Yeah. It does escalate that level of violence.
Speaking of betraying and shooting in the back, okay? What the fuck was Caitlyn's plan for the betrayal of Ambessa? How did she think that was gonna go over after this? Especially because Vi didn't kill Ambessa? What did she think was gonna come next?
Man, it's so fucking dumb.
Yep. I wanted to mention Echo as well. Not like the show really likes shipping Vi and Caitlyn. Like, they really like that relationship.
Yeah, which is weird.
Fine, whatever. Get over it. I really liked Powder and Echo, though.
Yes.
I find it kind of wholesome, but it's all of that sequence is just making me scratch my head because, for one thing, a Heimerdinger was teleported in time. What he said, 1,000 years?
No. He
Days.
said he had been there for like what, 30 years or something. He had been there longer, but not for
1,000
much.
days. It was 1,000
Days.
something
Thank
days.
you. Yeah. He hadn't been there. He had been there longer, but not much longer.
So this brings me to the alternate reality episode, which I really wanted to talk about.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think the general consensus on this is we don't have fucking time for this.
I like it in concept. I like seeing, what if situations of, hey, what if things went differently? Oh,
Yeah.
here's where, like, hey, this world is peaceful and there isn't war and everyone is happy and nice and friends and everything. Number one, what you said, we don't fucking have time for an entire episode for this shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
But also
We don't
the
have
fact-
You're doing
seasons,
15 storylines, basically. You've got 15
9 episodes,
storylines.
and you didn't use them wisely at all.
But there's so much wrong with so many parts of this. So first of all, fucking hey, everyone would be better if Vi just died.
Yeah,
Shoko gets
in the
fucking
wild.
redeemed in this timeline.
It's like, what the fuck? If Vi had died because of Jinx with the ball, because remember, the energy orb still explodes on that job.
Yeah, meaning
But it kills Vi.
Meaning Jayce was there with that stuff.
Yes.
And for some reason, Hex Tech doesn't get invented. The implication is either he gave up on it or maybe he went to jail because his experiment got someone killed or whatever. But point is, Hex Tech doesn't come to exist. And everyone's life is better for it.
Yeah.
There's another thing I have a problem with, and I don't think I've seen anyone talk about this yet, but I also haven't been watching people's videos. Echo and Heimerdinger don't get sent to the alternate timeline in the sense of their bodies come with them. They essentially... they possess
Yeah,
the
they did not
bodies
explain that whatsoever.
of their alternate version. Meaning, two things. First of all, Heimerdinger sacrificing himself. If we were to assume he died, that means he killed his
He's
alternate
killing another
self.
person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
fuck.
Worse
I
than
didn't
that,
think of that.
Worse than that,
shit.
he was just content to stay there in this alternate reality, inhabiting, again, a different version of himself, but someone else's body, both him and Echo.
Now, again, they could have made this work if we had shown Heimerdinger sad that all the counselors he had known were killed in his timeline. If we had that before, and then he brings up, like, why? Echo's like, why would you want to stay here? And then you can just have a scene where Heimerdinger looks over his shoulder and you see the other counselors still alive. Right there. You wouldn't need any other words.
I'm not sure you could. I'm not sure you could justify that, though, because at this point we're talking about there's two people in this universe that have been displaced by Echo and Heimerdinger coming here. They've taken over their bodies, taken over their lives, and they're just going to stay there forever until the end of their lives. And
It's the Wonder Woman problem.
I can understand. Like I said, I would do it as like a reason for why Heimerdinger might want to stay.
Well, that's kind of.
But you need to then break him out of that. That's what I'm talking about. Like for what we get is there's no reason why he wants to stay. He just wants to, and it's like, okay, why? I just want to stay. Okay,
in fact,
why?
Wait.
We should stay.
Why does the time machine separate his body? Why can it do that?
Well, that's the thing, is it isn't even a time machine. They went to the basement where the basement of the Hex Gate, and they touched the Tism Orb, which sent them here.
Yes. And then they recreate the Tism Orb in this new timeline that then sends him back to the old timeline. The time machine is entirely different.
Yeah.
That's how Echo has it. Because Time Machine's entirely different. I do want to get this comment though from Tyre.
Go.
Creetosis. No lesbian romance equals better timeline. What did the writers mean by this?
Completely agree. Oh, that's funny.
Also, just quickly, someone was asking about the super chats earlier. I will get to them. It's just we're kind of going free flow right now.
Yeah.
Fuck. There's something else I wanted to talk about in regards to.
Time travel?
The theory I had when watching this episode, because while we're seeing Echo and Heimerdinger in this like utopia, Jayce got sent to fucking literal hell on Earth, where like Piltover and Zaun have been completely destroyed. You see the bodies of people that seem like crystallized in magic when a big explosion went off. And
question.
Go.
Why doesn't Jayce invade someone's body in this dimension? Why is it his entire body?
Because fuck you, that's why.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because we do see, like, when they go to the Tism Orb, they, like, completely disintegrate. So the machine, in a way, did disintegrate their body and transport, like, their consciousness into someone else. So why didn't that happen to Jayce?
I can't explain that.
Okay.
But the theory I had when watching this episode was that, oh shit, it's the same world, because Heimerdinger got sent to this version of reality. Echo got sent to this version of reality as well, rather than going to two different ones. So, oh shit, Jayce got sent to the same reality as well, but he's way farther in the future. And then when Echo started doing his thing, like, oh, we need to get back, I was thinking, oh shit, him doing that is what causes everything to get fucked over and kills the entire city. Him and Heimerdinger going back to their universe. And obviously that's not what happened, but that was the theory I had in the moment.
Which would have been very interesting. That would have been really neat.
Yeah. But here's something I thought of just while we were talking about it as well. Echo wants to get back to his world. Heimerdinger doesn't. Are these motivations maybe reversed?
Yeah.
Because it seems to me like Heimerdinger is the kind of character that should be more on board with, no, we do not belong here. We are out of time and space being here. We need to be back in our own reality, in our own bodies, in our own world.
Yeah, and it's constantly set up with Echo that his father figure is there. He has a girlfriend here. All of his friends are still alive. You know, they're doing the thing that I said they should have done for Heimerdinger, but they're actually doing it for Echo. But Echo's immediately like, "Begone, alternate thoughts." Whereas Heimerdinger doesn't have that temptation, but instead he wants to stay. Like I said, for what reason, Heimerdinger? I think we should stay. Why? I just want to stay. Why?
Yeah, and that's part of like what's so frustrating about Heimerdinger being assassinated, because like we were saying way earlier, he was the voice of reason and logic and caution in season 1. He was like a very good character in season 1, and now here he's a clown in the first couple episodes, disappears for the next set of episodes, and then here he's just like perfectly fine, having stolen someone else's body in an alternate reality. He's just chilling and playing guitar. It does not seem like Heimerdinger at all.
Yeah.
Apparently in the game he's kind of like crazy and wacky and throws grenades everywhere. I thought, like, maybe in the last 3 episodes, we're gonna have Heimerdinger back, and he's not gonna be his reasonable thinking self. He's gonna be, wearing those goggles and, spamming grenades everywhere, that kind of thing. So, he's more like in the game, kind of thing. But no, they didn't do shit with him. like at
Yeah,
all.
I was still partially expecting him to come back in episodes like 8 or 9, some explanation that no, he didn't die. He just, because he was messing with the mechanics of the teleporter machine, it just sent him early or something, and that's why he came back to get involved in the situation again. But no, we just never see him again. He gets vaporized, and that's the last we see of him,
Yeah.
which is so fucking irritating.
Hmm.
The whole AU episode feels like an excuse to give Echo Z drive and make him forgive Jinx and kill off Dinger Lamau. See, that's the thing too. Is I don't even mind Echo getting his game ability, the fucking rewind time by 4 seconds thing. It's like, yeah, you can explain stuff like that in the show if you want, if it makes sense. We're not talking about Fallout skills here. We're talking about an actual ability that's part of the character's identity. So I'm fine with stuff like that happening, as long as it's used intelligently and doesn't break anything. But we never really get to see him use this ability until like the last 5 minutes of the last episode, when he's scooting past all the Tism bots. Also, he ends up smashing that thing on Victor, which somehow frees everyone and frees Jayce to convince him. Like,
Okay,
how did he know that would do anything?
So they recreated this orb time travel thing. Why not appear at the moment you disappeared in the chamber? Instead, they are gone for quite a while. In the, I guess we'll call it proto universe, universe A. We'll
Yeah.
call
Prime. It's Prime. Universe.
Prime. Let's call it Prime.
So
They were disappearing like for quite a while. Why exactly? If it's time travel, you know?
Well, it's not even time travel. It's like dimensional hopping, which remember Rise did at the very start of Arcane. He literally dimension hopped Jayce and his mother from where they were to Piltover.
Is that what he did?
Yeah, well, I'm assuming that's what he did, because that fits more with like the realm warp thing that he does.
Huh.
But it's like they didn't actually time travel at all. They were just in an alternate dimension, which apparently the timelines don't line up the same. Because look how long Jayce... Actually, I guess we don't know how long Echo and Heimerdinger were there, but look how long Jayce was obviously in his hell nightmare dimension.
yeah, he was there for a while.
I have a shit ton of problems with that as well. Where did he get the wood? How did he start the fire? Where did he get his food beforehand? Like, what? You know, there's so many problems with his hell dimensions. Like, okay, so he just starves to death, or he just freezes to death. Like, where's he getting all these things? Where did he find wood?
I've actually got a question in relation to that too. So the whole reason I don't know if he breaks his leg or just sprains it, but point is he falls down a crevice and gets injured because he's running away from the Tism bots in this world, right?
Yep.
And you could see them climbing down and they're looking at him, but they don't come all the way down. And then when he returns to the city, he just walks amongst them and they don't do anything to him. They kind of jitter about, but they're just kind of there not doing anything. And I assume the implication are these are Victor's Tism bots because Victor is still alive in this world, and he tells Jayce to go back and fix everything in his own world. So if these are Victor's Tism bots he has control over, why didn't he use those to help him in any way?
I don't know.
Because like the whole point is, I want you to survive, so you can go back and stop me in your world.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too. It's like you don't need Jayce to suffer all the way he does in this world to get the point. He already sees the devastation. He's already trying to get there to understand what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
You don't need him to go through a fucking Castaway with Tom Hanks moment. Like, Jesus Christ.
I just thought of something as well. You know when Echo establishes his 4-second rule, where he sees Heimerdinger kind of explode into pieces, and he's just like, oh, better not skip back more than 4 seconds unless I want everything to explode.
Mhm.
So he does do that in the final battle.
And it's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
And,
So
it doesn't work out for him, actually.
There's actually so many questions.
To be fair, they tried to cover this up with a Heimerdinger line I can stabilize it for you instead. He just says that, and then apparently it just worked now.
Okay, so
But then he
why
didn't
doesn't
need to
Echo
limit himself
explode?
to 4 seconds, son.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't work, but they had a throwaway line.
But also, if the limit is 4 seconds, why would it explode someone near him instead of him himself?
Yeah.
You think he would unravel first, being the nearest to the time machine?
Yeah.
But no.
Not just being the nearest to the time machine, but being the one actually enveloped in the fucking time travel.
Yep.
If that's the case too, wouldn't it be useful to have a time travel device that can make someone near you explode if you're surrounded by enemies?
Yes.
Yeah, just put it on him.
Why you have
and 4 seconds, or more than 4 seconds.
Yeah, if I'm surrounded by all the Tism bots, I'm gonna turn on the fucking thing and let it go to 5 seconds, and they all fucking disapparate around me. They're like, "Ooh, that was."
Or all right, or even let's say it did make you explode, right? Just put that on there, set it to 10 seconds, and wabba ding, wada boom, you exploded Victor.
Yeah.
It might not be a best weapon, but hey, it disintegrates them. It gets the job done. And Victor, I remember he looks at it and says, "What? This cannot be possible." However you do his accent. And then, only then does he finally fucking look into Jayce's mind, which is just so bizarre for me. It's just...
Yeah. Because if this guy came back from the Tism Orb, Victor had no questions of, I wonder why my friend tried to kill me. There's nothing.
No.
It's the entire plot relies on people not doing what they would do in every other situation. It relies on stupidity. It's literally instead of making people awesome, what if they were dumb?
Hate. Fuck, I have something else. Oh yeah. Going back to Heimerdinger once again when he does his little fucking clown sneaking through the vents thing. Why did it take him so long to notice Victor's weird jelly pod thing? Because he comes out of the hatch in the ground, and he starts talking with Jayce, which, by the way, I have another thing to mention about that. And they sit down and have tea, and it's only after he's been in the room for like 10 minutes he looks over to the center of the room and sees the fucking pod that Victor was in.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Another thing, Jayce fucking betrayed this guy in season 1, and we get nothing on that. There's no reconciliation, there's no, coming to terms, there's no talking about it in any way, it's just, oh, Heimerdinger's here now, and he wants help with his, hippie commune tree, and, yeah, they're just not going to address how Heimerdinger respected Jayce and got him onto the council just for Jayce to betray him and get him kicked off of the council.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it was murdering Jayce that whole time. He hated that thing.
No,
that's why
I know, but that's the exact reason
I find
they need to talk about it.
Yeah, I find it interesting. What makes season 1 so good is that he tries to give himself an out. He specifically says it must be unanimous. I won't take majority. It must be a unanimous decision. And he only raises his hand after every other counselor raised theirs.
Yeah, and I did like that moment because it's like, man, Jayce, you are fucking up. You like, not in the sense of this is bad writing, but oh man, buddy, you're making a bad mistake. Please don't do this.
Yeah.
And like, that is such a significant event. I feel like it absolutely needs to be addressed or talked about or
Mm.
something. And like the first time these two characters see each other again after that, it doesn't get brought up. And then they get sent to the Tism dimension, and then one of them fucking dies. And then Victor and Jayce, I don't even know what fucking happened to them at the end. So there's just no chance for them to ever address this moment.
Yeah.
Did Jayce even ask, like, hey, where did Echo and Heimerdinger go once he returned? No, he went straight to the hammer to murder Victor.
Yeah, he seems to have completely forgotten about them. Similarly, I heard someone mention this on another stream. It might have been Mauler on Open Bar. I can't remember, but why doesn't Echo tell anyone that Heimerdinger died?
I don't know, because
That seems like a pretty fucking big deal to me. Like, we don't even get to see a shot of like the mural in the hippie commune with a picture of a painting of Heimerdinger there now. Because they even added one to for Echo when he disappeared, but they didn't add one for Heimerdinger. And speaking of that fucking tree again, like how that plot line gets dropped entirely, it gets brought up to get them to the Tism orb that sends them to the Tism dimension, but then like
Right.
it just never gets brought up again. This tree that is dying, that's a core part of this community. Forget about it.
Okay, well, why is the Tism orb? Okay, bear with me here for a second.
Sure.
So we have the Tisms on Victor. He's resurrected. He's Jesus now,
Kinda,
right?
yeah.
And now this Jesus goo is on the tree. But Victor is Jesus. He has very good intentions. So this infection isn't really a problem.
Well, it is because what they explain is the effect they're seeing on the leaves of the tree is the same effect they saw on the plants they were testing the hex core on, and those plants would die. So this tree being like extremely meaningful to Echo's community, he wants to save it, and the implication is the tree is going to die if it's left unchecked.
Because I'm just trying to think, because Victor doesn't become a problem until Jayce shoots him with the hammer. And basically, Victor is a solution to everything in the world, including that tree. Like, he could go up to that tree and help. Like, if he's willing to help a werewolf guy, then yeah.
He likely doesn't know about the tree because Echo's community is like very secret. When they bring people there, they bring them in blindfolded. They want to keep this place secret, so well, I guess it's not Silco's goons anymore, but so the bad actors of Zon and so the enforcers and Piltover people don't come here. They're essentially starting their own faction here, kinda, the Firelights. And also, they don't know about Victor healing when they go investigate the Tism Orb, so it's not even an option they're aware of.
How does Vi find out about Victor? Why does she take the werewolf to?
That
to them?
is a good question. I'm
wait.
Need to rewatch season 2 to do.
Wait, what would you specifically ask?
How does Vi know about Victor doing the healing tisms?
Well, by that point, when they were trying to get Vander, she had already teamed back up with Jinx.
Yeah. But how do they know about Victor healing people?
There was something that was said about like a healing man that did miracles. There was something. I remember that being stated, but I don't remember who said it.
Okay, I'll have to pay attention to that when I do my rewatch for the video.
I feel like there's problems we're seeing, and then there's problems of those problems. That like I feel like the further we dig, the more problems is there, and maybe I can't articulate it right, but
I'm gonna say this right now. You could probably do a 7-hour video discussing the problems of season 2. My video
Yep.
will not be that long. I can't go through that again right now. I can't.
Yeah.
I cannot.
I mean the most visible is Jayce and Victor. I think that's one of the biggest issues, especially with how it ends. Then probably Jinx and Vi stuff. And then, by the way, like Jayce and his girlfriend, I can't remember her name. They don't interact throughout this season, like at all. Most of the time, she's in a freaking dungeon Black Rose thing, and Jayce is in a post-apocalyptic world. They get next to no
Yeah.
interaction throughout the show whatsoever.
Yeah, when one of the big things of season 1 was these characters are, well, they're fucking each other. And like
They're gonna do some leadership changes. That was what was suggested.
yeah. Yeah, and that's part of what makes all this feel so rushed is like both of these characters get ejected out of the show for a significant portion of time, and they barely interact with each other when all of season 1 was these characters dealing with each other and doing things. um Fuck, there was
So
something
what
else.
happened to that brother? He's dead?
Mel's brother? Yeah, he's dead. The Black
Yeah.
Rose killed him.
Yeah.
Right.
A long time ago. And then people are saying LeBlanc. That does make sense that LeBlanc was pretending to be her brother.
Right. So how did Black Rose? I guess it's not impossible that she could transform into like an older version of the brother, but like even Mel didn't recognize him, so but you kind of need Mel to recognize that it's the brother, so this illusion is stupid. I don't know. But if he died a long time ago, then I don't know. This whole thing is just. I thought there was like a whole organization, and it's just one freaking witch.
It's supposed to be like a whole organization, but apparently not in Arcane's universe.
It's very unclear, which is one of the many frustrating aspects about this.
Granted, now because of season 2, we know that Arcane's universe does not meld with the game's lore whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Which again
that
is
even
infuriating because stuff I looked up from the game seemed more interesting than what we got. Again, Victor just being the easiest example. In fact, just quickly, does this not turn Victor's default skin into, like, complete non-canon territory? Because we never get that version of him?
Yeah. By the way, because I mentioned with Black Rose, so it's just one witch. Why is Ambessa? I'm sure she could take her out, like with a big enough army. Like, why does she need Hex Tech if it's just one witch that is defeated easily? Like, why can't you have your daughter train her ability and kill her instead of going all this Game of Thrones shit just to get Hextech? Like the solution to your problem was right in front of you.
Well, I guess there would have to be a bigger faction or aspect to the Black Rose if
Yeah,
she
it
needs
has to
all
be a bigger
that. But
faction. It can't just be a single person.
and this is part of the problem is they don't do a good enough job establishing all that because I don't know what the fuck the Black Rose is. We see her holding it every single fucking time in the intro, implying that like it's going to be significant, and then what she kills the leader of the Merchants Guild, who is a part of the Black Rose, and then there's just this one that captures Mel, and I guess captures Ambessa at the end of the season and kills her, and that's it. So we don't know what this faction is.
And as far as we're aware, this faction was just what after her. And it's just like, okay, what a big threat that was, you know? And it's
Yeah, because like they seem
Why do they-
powerful, but you can also dispel their magic really easily. Apparently, like it's
Yeah.
what it
Yep.
feels like. So and also
like
it's just
she seems to
another
be
thing.
yeah, she seems to be really worried about them. Like maybe they'll even take over this town once they see Ambessa in here. You know, like they're she really is preparing for them, but it's like they feel like kind of like a mafia boss come to collect their debt from this lady, and off they go, kind of thing. I thought there would be more to them, like they'd be like, kind of like a domineering force that would invade everything, but no, it's just like pretty basic, to be honest.
So there's something I want to grab in chat, but I want to get on this Mel point before I forget. So the Black Rose wants to awaken Mel's powers because they don't want to kill Mel, right? So why did they kill her friend? Because they mentioned, oh yeah, they do it as a show of power. It's like, why would you kill the friend of the person you're trying to that you want on your side?
Yeah. And even worse, why are you admitting that you killed her brother,
Yeah.
which she appears very close with?
Yes.
Like she was close to. It's like why would you admit, "Oh yes, we also tortured and made your brother suffer." Ha ha. Oh, you'll be our friend now? What?
Excuse me?
Someone mentioned in
got the wrong
chat.
No, I was just making a joke that it was like her suddenly her raises an eyebrow, like, "Hold on, I think you got the wrong script. That doesn't seem right."
Someone mentioned in chat. Yeah, if you Google V League Victor rework, you will get the picture of Arcane Victor with patch notes. Bruh.
Yeah. It's they're trying to play on popularity.
I hate to break it to them. Season 2 doesn't seem to be that popular.
Yeah.
Because I saw a tweet from Mahler today pointing out, like, oh shit, the hate for Arcane is ramping up a lot faster than I thought. And yeah, people, like, a lot of people in general seem to be very unhappy. I don't know, obviously, what percentage like or hate it, but I've been seeing a lot of people saying that they're unhappy with season 2. I've seen a few people saying, yeah, I enjoyed it, it was fine, blah blah blah, whatever. But you get that with everything, you know? You get that
Yes.
with later Game of Thrones seasons, you got that with the Fallout show. There's always going to be
As
that percentage of people who are like, yeah, I liked it, it was fine, I enjoyed it.
as Yahtzee made a joke of long ago, you can literally smear a piece of shit across a few comic book panels, and there'll be somebody out there that'll defend it as like the greatest thing in high art and wonderful.
Yeah, I pretty much
You
said
always
the
get
same...
some fucking weirdo.
I pretty much said the same thing about Star Wars several years ago, of like, if they released a new Star Wars movie and it was just a fat guy playing the main theme on a tuba in an empty room for 2 hours, you'd still have people praising it. That's just the way people are.
I probably would have praised it as a shit post if they had done the like the fucking Well, it was the kid with the oven door, and the father has the tuba, or sorry, the trombone. Do 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 do. And the kid's just slamming the stove over and over again, just like boom, boom, boom. Like if it had been that for an hour, I would have been like, okay, you know what? The cheat on you, fucking all right. You know what? I'll give it to you.
I would accept that for the Ray movie. Fair. Yeah, I
Yes.
prefer that way over the Ray movie.
It's the banana tape to the wall effect. Kind of, except with the banana tape to the wall, the CIA was literally gay opsing people.
Yeah,
So-
the
I'm
whole...
having deja vu with this banana thing. Didn't this already happen?
Yeah,
Yes.
yes,
Someone
yeah.
bought.
They keep doing, yeah, and then the person bought the art piece, and they said because they wanted to interact with it by eating the banana, but then they didn't get the banana, they were given the roll of duct tape instead.
I mean, it seems pretty obvious that a lot of the modern art shit has just been a fucking money laundering scheme for decades at this point.
Yes.
Yep.
It served its purpose, and then the CIA cut it loose, and now it's, now it's just, pretentious know-nothings with their head so far up their own ass, or people directly money laundering, like a certain Biden did.
Yep. Money laundering, or an excuse to have music videos in your show.
Uh,
How many were there in this?
I'm gonna do a count when I do my video.
I feel
I
like
have to.
there were
There were at
at
least a dozen.
least
There were at least
Yeah.
5, Surely.
there were at least 6.
6. I'm guessing 5.
Yeah.
3.
It's,
Let us know who got it right.
Yeah, you'll know for sure. Did we cover everything we wanted to talk about? Is there anything left?
I did want to talk about the music videos a little bit because
Go.
season 1 had only like maybe 2, with Echo and Jinx fight on the bridge, which was pretty cool from what I remember. But I
Yeah.
haven't watched it in a while.
And the one that was a cameo from Imagine Dragons.
mhm.
Everybody want to be my. Okay.
I don't know how I feel about those. Like, again, I don't mind if you do that sort of thing in your show if it has purpose and if we have time for it. But season 2, we definitely didn't. Because that's the thing about season 1. We could have done without those music videos, but, they didn't really intrude on anything, I don't think. It was
Yeah.
fine.
And
Whereas
this
here,
one they went overboard. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, where it's almost every episode, and I mean, it just a lot of times it just feels like it's wasting time. We didn't need a big long sequence of Vander's memory that's 99% Vi and Powder and her
Yeah.
mother, their mother, and like, just we're not getting anything from this. We knew that
Yeah.
he cared about these kids and wanted them to have a good life.
I feel like the kid was also just invented just for the music video. Just for the music video. I think that was
No.
the only purpose of the kid.
No, she had to sacrifice herself to stop Warwick, remember?
Well, she didn't because Victor resurrected him, so that was a
I
bloody
know,
stupid
but-
sacrifice. And-
Because remember, that was the whole thing. We had to wait for the next one, so that was the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, her purpose was also to stop Caitlyn from shooting Jinx.
Which
For
there's
stupid
no
reasons.
way she would have missed. The Caitlyn we've seen, the fucking expert sniper that
Yeah.
can hit tiny ass targets from over a football field away without a scope. Fucking,
Like,
real
yeah.
good shot.
That is.
Now I know
I
100
would-
yards isn't actually that impressive, but you know what I mean. They showed it when she was a little fucking girl. She was pulling this shit off.
That's
you know what I say? I say shoot away. It doesn't matter if you hit the kid or not. Like, geez, Caitlyn.
Yeah, this is literally terrorist number 1.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Imagine if it was Osama bin Laden. All right. Are you gonna let some kid stop you from delivering justice?
That does remind me, I wanted to mention that fight scene again because I didn't get to it earlier, but something that really pissed me off, and you know where I'm going with this, Setch. Savika activates a bomb, and this blows open a wall, and there's this, like, wind tunnel effect going on where, like, this crazy amount of wind is coming through this newly blown open hole, and the wind is so fucking powerful that it is blowing stone like paper. First
Yep.
of all, where the fuck is this strength of wind coming from? We're talking about, like, category 5 level hurricane winds here. Like, fuck
Yes.
off. But also the fact everyone in that room should be fucking dead. Like, I'm sorry, like, Vi and Caitlyn get conveniently blown out of the room uninjured. The rubble perfectly blocks up the doorway with, like... What? And they don't get injured at all. This should kill them outright. And it doesn't. But then Savika grabs onto, like, the stone altar, and okay, I can imagine her robot arm being able to grab on and hold on. What I can't imagine is her not flapping in the wind like a fucking flag in a hurricane. And
Yeah.
instead she's able to get down on the ground and hold Jinx and the stupid kid and keep them safe from the wind and all the debris that's being blown out there. Fuck off.
Mm.
God,
And then
I hate it.
once they get blown out of the room, Vi and Caitlyn have an argument and have a typical lesbian moment. To be honest, I didn't see that as a breakup, just an argument, and Caitlyn just punching her. And then Vi, after that, for some reason, completely drinks herself nearly to death.
Yeah, she becomes a fucking emo girl and does pit fighting.
Yeah.
But Vi is still a police officer, right? She didn't take the
No.
badge. So,
Apparently not.
Vi, why aren't you still going after Jinx?
Yeah, I don't know. It's all very
It's like there's no cohesion. Like, just continue on. I don't know what the problem is here. Like, she nudged you. Oh, cry me a river. It's just keep going. Your sister's a terrorist. She's out there still. I don't get it at all.
that does remind me though. Do you like how we have this big long extended scene of Jinx announcing two bugs going to fight each other, and they're like shown to be giant horrifying creatures, and then the camera pulls back and they're like literally tiny little bugs on the ground that are fighting each other? That was a real good use of time.
It's like they themselves were like looking, those 9 episodes, how are we going to fill this?
Like, it's
Bug
weird.
fights.
Some parts of this feel like they're putting in useless filler because they don't have enough to fill out the season, despite the fact that they're cramming 3 seasons of story into one. It is fucking bizarre.
I just don't understand the logic, of like, it's not impressive if you speed run 15 storylines and all of them are shit.
Yeah.
Season 1 was so impressive because it was a single storyline that had multiple branches to it that were all interconnected and interweaved with each other.
Yeah. Because Jayce meeting Silco and them discussing the terms, that felt like something that had to happen. Here you have, like, the face of Hex Tech and the face of Shimmer, and, like, essentially the leaders of Zon and Piltover having a discussion of terms to try and bring peace between them. It's like, yeah, this absolutely feels like something that would happen here, whereas a lot of what happens in season 2 just feels like stuff happening. It feels like
Yeah, like shit
disparate
happens. Yeah.
scenes being thrown at a wall and saying, "Yep, that's the story. Let's go."
Yeah.
And the reason I
It's
just
like they
laughed
went
is
with the first draft.
because
Yeah.
I remembered another fucking problem. I was going to mention how, like, don't you like how we wasted all this time in the mine shaft for no good reason, really? And then I remembered that fucking part where it's like, oh look, it's Vander, and there's this horrifying wolf monster charging towards him, and Jinx is like, no, you need to understand that that's Vander. It's like, bruh, you didn't fucking tell her sooner that Vander
And you
is a
didn't tell her
horrifying
this
wolf monster?
exactly.
Like, what the fuck?
This would be kind of a high priority thing to mention. Oh, by the way, Vander don't look the same. He was apparently experimented on, but he is Vander. I need you to know that going in.
Bit of a heads up. Yeah.
But then she like, so not knowing this, they're already in a fight to the death, and from Vi's perspective, and then Vi just gives up for no discernible reason, and she's so fucking lucky that Vander recognized that it was Vi.
Yeah. Because he didn't even recognize who Jinx was until he saw, like, the grenade at the last second. Keep in mind, he's torn everyone else apart without hesitation, but for some reason in the fight with Jinx, he grabs her and holds her up, and takes a real long time getting to tear her apart. So much so that he does finally see the grenade and looks in her face. And then he goes, "Powder?" It's
Yeah.
like, God, it is so clunky.
I just hate it too because we're shown how powerful he is. He literally can fold steel like it's origami paper, okay?
Yeah.
It's fucking wild, and then you have moments where Ambessa's like, oh, he just scratched my face mask a little bit. I'm totally fine. So like that. And it's like,
God, I had another thing I wanted to talk about and I forgot what it was.
Vander recognized Jinx because of a grenade. It's so stupid. I agree.
Yeah.
Why would he remember the grenade?
He wouldn't. If it had been like the monkey or something, that would have been understandable because he knows about the alarm monkey. But no, it's just some fucking random grenade. And he just looks at it like, huh? That reminds me of powder for some fucking reason.
Right, so... okay. I was gonna say, why does he remember Powder and not Vi? Wouldn't Vi be more easily? Wouldn't he prefer to remember Vi instead because, you know, she was the first child? I don't know how memories work.
No, I would assume Vander would feel more protective over Powder, and thus
Yes.
have that stronger connection, because Powder was portrayed as, I don't want to say weaker, but more sensitive in the first 3 episodes of season 1. Whereas he knew Vi could take care of herself for the most part. Like, if she got in big trouble in Piltover, like kind of what happens in episode 1, it's like, yeah, that's a problem. But if it came to, like, getting in a fight or, like, living on the streets, he knows that she'd be able to handle herself for the most part. She's not someone that needs to be protected or babied, whereas Powder is very much, well, like I said, really sensitive early on.
And one of the things, remember, Vander specifically talks to Vi about, like, those kids will do anything you say, so you need to understand the power you have over them. He's talking to Vi and trying to explain to her, like, you're the adult of this group. You need to fucking act like it.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, I guess we could also discuss Ambessa's plan. So she...
What plan?
Yeah.
Which one of the ass pulled betrayals are you talking about?
Right, let's start with the very first one of
Okay.
her leading the nose chainsaw people to the funeral I don't know what would you
It
call
was
it.
the
Like,
statue unveiling memorial.
yeah, memorial.
Yeah.
And she kills them in the nick of time, right before Jayce's blast can kill like the last troop as well. I guess the point of that was to motivate them even further to use Hex Tech and to go to war.
Yeah.
Well, kind of. The point of that was to try to install Caitlyn as a benevolent dictator.
Yeah, with Ambessa controlling things from behind the scenes, getting her own way.
Yeah.
Why take a risk with Caitlyn when you already have someone under your thumb?
I don't trust me. I don't understand because remember this conspiracy, this betrayal comes out of nowhere. They only like give you the hints and clues after the fact that this is totally set up and planned. Oh, did you like it? It's like you showed us the betrayal first, and now are going back to take a victory lap about like here are all the clues you could have put together. It's like, yeah, it would have been nice if we had those clues, fucking assholes. Jesus, you're doing the BBC Sherlock nonsense. Oh my god.
No. Like the Black Rose is after you. Don't make risks that you don't need to make at all. Just go with the guy that you know will listen to you and simps over you.
What would have been smarter? Because this was way too fucking risky. They almost lost everything. Oh, only on a fluke did they time it right, and did miracles happen. That's how Caitlyn and fucking Jayce especially survived.
Oh, someone
But
in the chat makes a good point as well. Ambessa is risking the life of Jayce, the creator of Hextech. If he gets killed,
yes,
what the fuck are you gonna get? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
what
kind of
should
what I
the
mentioned
smart
earlier.
Yeah.
smart way this betrayal would have worked would have been if Ambessa and a small contingent of her guards were there the entire time, and the moment that the assassination attempt tries to happen, they spring into action. That's the only way this would have worked. You just needed the attempt to be started. You didn't need it to get to the point where Jayce is literally getting chainsawed in the back, and thank God he's not fucking crippled.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. Why? Why are you waiting till the Wunderkind Ubermensch might die and you lose Hextech forever? It's fucking wild.
Yeah, this is one of those things where the more I think about it, the more it's fucking frustrating me and pissing me off.
There's like levels and levels. It's multi-layered, and like when you think of one problem, like two more takes its place. It's like a Hydra.
It is literally Arcane. This is literally Hydra. Hail Hydra!
It's a Hydra of
Cut off-
shit.
Cut off one head. Wait. Point out one plot hole. Two more can take its place.
No, you have to say it in Victor's accent.
Oh god, I don't know if I can.
I can't. But you know what But you know what I can do.
Hate.
Okay, he's kind of laid back. Plucked off one head, and two more will take its place.
Perfect.
Join me, Jayce. We were not just brothers. I totally wanted to bang you this whole time.
Oh
Oh,
god.
Again,
I hate shippers. I really do. I wish
Yes, I do
Tumblr.
too.
I wish Tumblr was back just so they could go there.
Go
Yeah,
back
alright,
to
I-
containment.
Yeah, containment block. Containment has been breached. Tumblr
Well,
has fallen.
actually-
Containment has been breached.
Actually, they're fucking containing themselves again with Blue Sky.
Yeah, but that's already collapsing. They're
Yeah.
just
No.
like, it's like, no, keep the fucking filth over there, please.
We
There've
need-
been like millions of reports of CP on there all of a sudden. You're just like, oh, that's lovely.
They're eating themselves because they're insufferable with each other.
Yeah, it's a purity spiral.
Yeah, it's fucking great. Well, it's great to watch from the outside, watching these fucking retards like beat each other to death with their nubs.
Do you reckon they were disappointed as well with the show?
I don't
I
care.
have no idea. I don't care. They're not people. But no, it's that thing, that meme that comes up all the time, where like if you write compelling characters that have a bromance, it's totally platonic. They're just best friends, and they would fight for each other, they would die for each other, and then you'll have some retards like they're totally gay. This is gay coded in Signal. It's like, no, it's not.
It's
Oh,
even
this
worse when you
This
have.
is camaraderie. This is what camaraderie looks like.
It's even worse when you have characters that fucking despise each other and want nothing more than to kill each other. And then you get these shipper weirdos who are like, oh my god, they're totally in love. No, shut the fuck up.
Bowser constantly kidnaps Princess Peach, so he has an excuse to talk to Mario.
Hang on, can I post it?
Creetosis, can we talk about the retarded Jayce's line in episode 9 when he told Victor that your imperfections make you unique? It's like saying to a cancer patient that their cancer makes them unique.
I know. You being a bum cripple that was about to die makes you unique. There are no other bum cripples about to die in this universe. You're a special version. You are uniquely qualified to suffer.
Because someone did say, I can't remember who said it on a live stream, that this show in a way was made to appease shippers.
It feels like season 2 feels like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Season 1 didn't feel that way. Like,
No,
there was a
'cause-
little bit of teasing and hinting about Caitlyn and Vi, obviously.
Yeah, and that I
But
didn't care about because the way it was portrayed in season 1 just felt natural. Didn't feel like,
Yeah.
oh my god, we need to do shipping. It just feels like we're writing a story and these characters happen to become interested in one another.
Oh, isn't it amazing also that suddenly Jayce is no longer straight in season 2? Or it seems like he's not. Because remember, he was with oh my god, I can't remember Ambessa's daughter's name now. Fuck.
Mel.
Mel.
He's not with Mel anymore because Mel gets kidnapped for the majority of season 2.
And so does he. He gets sent to the
Yeah.
Chisholm realm.
So they're not allowed to like be together anymore.
I don't know if I would say that it feels like they made him not straight anymore, but I was kind of scared towards the end that they were going to have him and Victor kiss.
Yes,
'cause, like, there's
that's
that
my point
one-
right there. It was that
there's-
moment. It was that moment of like,
Yeah, where
But,
like right at the
yeah.
very end, they're kind of like their heads are getting close together. It's like, oh my god, please don't go there.
yeah, please, do not. It's like, do not, please.
Apparently, shippers are trying to get the Jayce voice actor to sign their art. Is what I heard as well. Don't ask me how I know. Sometimes scrolling through X, it will take you to.
Ugh.
That
Very
just
weird
seems
places.
normal. Remember Blythe's voice actor. At least he leaned into it though because he thought it was funny. But Blythe's voice actor from Elden Ring did the same thing. He would read like the horny comments and things like that, and he would joke around with them.
I still haven't remembered that one point I wanted to talk about like 10 minutes ago.
Do you remember roughly where it was in the show?
No, it's completely out of my mind. I know it was when we were talking about the mines, but I don't think it was related to the mines. I think it was related to Jayce somehow, but I can't remember how.
Also, what was up with those mines? The rocks and blisters mines that just have bubbles in them that react to sound.
They looked like some kind of fungus that light up to sound for some reason, where it's like, okay, but why?
Yeah, and even more of a but why, it's like, were they hazardous at all?
Well, Jinx eats one and fucking nothing happens to her. She said they're just kind of gross, so...
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
right, because I remember she said they're not poisonous, I think.
Well, unfortunately, she continues to live after that, so... yeah.
Yep.
Are you planning to make a video on this? Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Is Mel a champion, by the way?
She's going to be. They're adding her to the game, I think, next month.
Oh.
Yeah.
Those are perfect true pop. Exactly. That's exactly how I fucking feel. Holy shit. Those
Okay.
quotes that True
So-
Pop put in the chat.
I saw like the bottom one as a meme and like, hang on, he did say quit, but these two are basically the same, you know?
Yeah, they're the same. It's just one of them is coded for the modern day.
There's something funny about a C.S. Lewis quote mentioning Twitter.
Yes.
It'd be like having a fucking Tolkien quote mentioning Twitter or the
Yeah.
internet or whatever.
Yeah, Possum like wrote that one. I'm like, hang on, C.S. Lewis said something like this, but you know what, Possum, you elaborated it quite eloquently with this.
Yeah, I
so.
think that's pretty good translation for the modern brain rot on,
Yes,
the modern
definitely so.
brain rot generation.
I forgot what I wanted to say now as well. Oh no.
You did it to yourself. You laid the landmine. I just pointed it out, and you stepped right on.
Don't believe everything you read on the internet, Abraham Lincoln. You know what? Honest Abe was a smart guy for saying that. He knew what was up.
Oh, right, Mel. Yeah, I was talking about that. Right. So I was thinking, right, if they're not a champion, they're much more likely to die. I wasn't
that's-
exactly sure whether Mel was a champion or not. So that's why I was kind of expecting her to kick the bucket.
Yeah, she's
That-
not a champion.
Well, she's going to be.
She's
Well,
going to be now.
Definitely,
But,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of mixed on that, because I absolutely understand the sentiment of, well, okay, these are, like, game characters, so you can't kill them off. But at the same time, I think it adds more, I don't want to say legitimacy, but,
Yeah.
like, stakes to your show to have it be like, yeah, the champions can die. We have them in the game because it's a video game and we can mix and match them from different time periods like that because we can. But in the actual story, no one is safe. Anyone can die. Which I think I absolutely prefer. Because
They actually did the Dota 2 show actually does that. It kills off some fan favorite characters pretty gruesomely too.
yeah.
Huh.
It is wild. And remember, the Dota 2 show came out just before Arcane Season 1. So it's one of those classic situations of two completely in the same field. They're in a tangentially related field. They're both MOBAs, but two completely different companies that don't talk to each other, are competing directly with each other, came up with the same idea at the same time. You know, Valve had to be looking at that with the Dota 2 launch of the anime. They're like, yeah, and then suddenly Arcane Season 1 drops, and Riot Games is like glaring death daggers at them. Valve had to be like, fuck, what the fuck?
I think the problem is that their stories just end. Like, Ambessa just doesn't feel like her story is over yet. Yeah, that's part of the problem too, and a lot of this relates to it being rushed, but it doesn't feel like any of the character stories got properly fleshed out and finished off. They kind of all just come to an end.
Yeah.
Or I should say they just kind of stop.
It's like they just had to. It doesn't feel like it was natural. It feels like they got a mandate from corporate that all of this must be over. So tie up everything right now.
Because if they're a champion, I would suspect that the death would be not so abrupt in a way. Like, if it's any other character, like, yeah, they can die at any moment, but I would expect a champion's death to be, like, a lot more powerful, you know, kind of potent, or their death leading to many circumstances or options for further stories. That kind of thing.
I would play with that. I would do the actual subversion of expectations and have somebody important like that die like quickly, and maybe only have it happen once in the entire storyline. But you snap it immediately. Like a sniper's bullet just takes them out.
Mm.
And then that be kind of the thing to be like, they don't have plot armor. They're not special. They're special because they're skilled, but they can still die. This world is dangerous.
Yeah.
That's what I
Because-
would do.
Yeah, because like I said, it adds stakes and just makes the story feel... It makes the events feel more important and significant when it's like, yeah, we can lose any of these characters at any time.
True,
Yeah.
true.
Like I said, I would do that, but I that's a tool you have to use carefully. You don't do a fucking Ryan Johnson or what Hollywood tried to do for the longest fucking time, where subverting expectations is all you need. No, you have to use it. It's a tool. It's like the Dutch angle.
Yeah.
If you abuse it, it's awful.
Guys, remember when we had like a really interesting story about one of the guys that was working for Silco? I can't remember his name.
Which
Wow.
one was it? The tatted up dude who got
The
shot
one-
by Jinx?
Was he shot by Jinx? I can't remember. He had a daughter that Silco was kind of threatening to.
Oh, Marcus. You're talking about the enforcer Marcus.
Right, yeah.
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 And, you know, such an interesting story, but he was, in a grand scheme of things, just an enforcer, really. And you get such an interesting story. It's not like you're going to make him a champion in the game or anything. And
Yeah.
like his story felt conclusive. And yet we have some of these like really important characters, and it just feels not conclusive at all. You know, like in the first season, even kind of like non-important characters in the grand scheme of things got a fair share of attention. And in here, everything just feels incredibly rushed.
Didn't Creel let you talk about what you heard on the stream with Mahler about a certain character not being important?
Yeah, so...
and we're theorizing, but because I need to go to the bathroom, so I apologize. I will bow out for a second. I will be right back.
All right. So don't quote me on this, but I was listening to, I think it was Open Bar last night, and I'm kind of relaying what Mahler said that he had read in a tweet, which is why I'm kind of iffy on this, I guess. But apparently one of the showrunners or writers or whatever said that they didn't focus on one of the characters because they just weren't really interested in talking about that character or doing anything with that character, and that's why they didn't get a lot of screen time. I assume it's referring to Heimerdinger, but yeah, it's stuff like that that fucking... God, it's so frustrating.
I really should have listened to Open Bar yesterday, but for some reason I had the stupid idea of streaming Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Have fun with that.
£3 on Steam, right? So I thought, it's not a big loss. Let's have a bit of fun. Let's see how this game like worked out post-launch. And it's like my computer crashed 3 times. The levels restarted like every 30 minutes or so because it detects the use of cheats, even though I don't know why I would use cheats for this game at any point whatsoever. You have to grind a certain level of points in order to play certain side missions, which I just find kind of stupid as well. Like,
yeah.
The story of that game is crap, but I was surprised just how bad the game is as well. Like, they've not optimized that game at all. Like, I was gonna laugh at it, but it was hard to laugh at it. Instead, I was ripping my hair out. But my audience had fun watching me rage, so I guess.
Yeah.
Not the worst
Oftentimes, the chat loves to watch you suffer through like bad games and stuff. I just streamed Starfield again the other day, and it's one of my most viewed streams I've done for gaming streams. It's like, yeah, everybody hates this game and thinks it's boring, but they tune in to watch me suffer. The showrunner said they preferred the other characters. Also, yes, that was Open Bar. Yeah, I thought so. I couldn't remember for sure. Yeah, I think we've covered most of the things I wanted to talk about. Aside from that one thing I can't fucking remember. But, like, we hit broad strokes, a lot of
I think we hit everything, unless we're forgetting something like.
No, I'm just trying to think of like each of the characters and plot lines to see if there's anything I might have missed. We talked about the tree, we talked about the fucking Tism orbs and Victor and Jayce and Mel and Jinx and Vi and
Could we talk about the ending a bit more? Because I did miss Jinx supposedly surviving. Because I kind of nodded off. I was like, okay, I'm done with this show. Did they suggest anything else in the ending?
um so I was kind of like tuning out by the end. So this is it's kind of funny how it works out, but when I first started watching season 1, I was kind of like second monitoring it, where I was like, yeah, okay, I'm not super invested in this. It's not taking up my full attention. But by like a couple episodes in, I was like fully on board. I was fully invested. Um,
Especially
and
after episode 3.
yeah, and I was just on board for the entire time after that for season 1. Season 2 was kind of the opposite, where my interest fell off, but I was still like focusing on it. And by the time the ending was coming around, I was just zoning out. Not even like intentionally or anything. It was just like, you ever watch a show or a movie and then like you zone out so hard that you're not even hearing what's happening, you're not even seeing what's happening on screen, you're just vaguely aware of what it is. That's kind of the position I was at by the end of episode 9. I was just so fucking checked out that like a lot of it just seemed to go by.
Yep. I definitely get that. Yeah, I do think we covered everything. The professor guy who created Shimmer, by the way, also.
Singed, yeah, we talked about him. Oh, that is another thing I wanted to bring up, actually. They do this whole thing where it's like, oh yeah, here's this girl he wants to save, whether it's his girlfriend or his daughter, or whoever it is, whatever importance she has to him, it doesn't matter. The fact that
Okay.
he's like, oh yeah, I want to save her, and then it never gets mentioned again.
No, it doesn't.
It's brought
does
up
he
in this
achieve this
one
goal?
scene,
Yeah.
and it's just forgotten.
And he was Victor's teacher at one point as well. They both have like this like philosophical debate at one point. Like I think when they're chatting about Vander.
Yeah.
I was like, don't forget that I was always on edge, like thinking, okay, how the hell is Victor going to go evil? And between so those conversations, it was all genuine. Victor didn't have some sort of evil plan to infect everyone, to literally heal the world. And all that does is just emphasize how much of a screw up Jayce did. He literally killed the golden goose that laid golden eggs.
Yeah. People in chat are mentioning that there was a shot of her standing up at the end, so... Okay, I guess I missed that then.
Yeah. No. Yeah, disappointing. We're not gonna check out any others. We don't care. We really don't. I'm surprised like more champions weren't introduced, especially since season 2. You know, the final season.
Well, I mean, if you just had Arcane be the League of Legends show that takes place across the entire universe, like, yeah, start season 1 in Zon and Piltover, but then start spreading out from there, show Noxus, show other regions whose names I'm not familiar with. you could do a slow introduction of all the characters that way, and like move storylines, like have season 7 take place entirely in Noxus or whatever, with those characters and their goals and everything. But I don't know. I'm glad they didn't introduce any other champions in season 2. Just because we don't have time for what they did already, let alone adding additional characters.
Yep. It doesn't feel at all conclusive.
Yeah.
I don't feel satisfied. I don't feel
No,
I wasn't invested at all throughout the show.
it's leaving me feeling empty and disappointed, where it's like season 1 was fucking amazing and now I just feel fucking tired, man.
Yeah. Did they, by the way, launch it all at once, season 1?
I don't know.
I think they did, and because the show was so successful, they released it like every week, 3 episodes.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know they did that for season 2, 3 episodes, then 3 episodes, but for season 1,
Right.
I have no idea.
So Netflix knew, in a sense, that this second season was popular, so that's why. Well, I mean, usually Netflix drops everything all at once. If they're dropping something in pieces, they're building up hype.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if it was like, okay, looking back on it now,
it's
was it worth it, Netflix?
yeah, and it's going to be hard to be invested in whatever they do next, because they did mention, yeah, we're launching a bunch of League of Legends shows now, but like I said earlier, why the fuck would I get interested or invested in any of those when season 2 was such a shit show and ruined everything and everyone that I liked?
Yeah.
Like,
I
this
agree.
is
And I'm
welcome back.
Oh,
This
it's
is me as a fucking new person to this entire franchise. I had genuine interest in this world and these characters in season 2, and if season 2 had stuck the landing, I would absolutely be there for all the other shows to see where they go, to see different parts of the lore and world, because when you get my interest in something, I'm like all in pretty much. I shouldn't say all in, like, I don't do deep dives into lore about everything I'm super into, but you have me interested enough in the show where it's like, fuck yeah, I'll watch more of this if it's good. Season 2 stuck the landing, absolutely. Give me fucking 20 League of Legends shows if they're all as good as season 1
Yep.
was. But now that they just completely shit the bed and they showed they're willing to completely change the lore on a whim, and I see a character that catches my interest, and I look up their lore, and it's like, oh shit, I want to see that character, like that version of him in the show, and we never get it. Well, fuck. Why would I get invested in your characters that
Yeah.
might potentially interest me in any of your other shows? If we're just going to get another Victor where the Machine Herald doesn't get to exist. He's now fucking crystal meth Jesus.
yeah.
If they dropped this all at once, season 2, I think it'd be people would be defending it more. But now that we've had
Possibly.
week to week to think about it, because by week 2, I was just like, this is probably not going to be good at all.
I was in the same position. After I seen Act 2, I was like, you've got too much going here to conclude in a satisfying way in the final 3
Yep.
episodes. And man, I couldn't have predicted where they would go with those 3 episodes.
We were speculating so much. Why does Jayce kill Jesus? And
'Cause
was the
Jesus
stupid
told him to talk, and apparently Jayce hates talking now.
Yeah.
He's a man of action, damn it.
Yeah. What the hell? No, yeah. What was the last show that was dropped all at once and people
Fallout.
Fallout? Yeah. See, do you reckon, Creetosis, that if they launched Fallout week by week, people would kind of wake up and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
this show is kind of shit."
Yeah, that's part of what I included in the conclusion of my Fallout show video.
Mhm.
Is that I believe there's two things that saved Fallout. Number one, it had no such golden rule as Halo has, where you don't show Master Chief's face. The fact that they did so is part of what disrupted kind of I guess mindless consumerism of the show, where showing Chief's face bugged people, and because of that, seeing the other problems came easier, I believe. The other part of it is, was Halo released week by week? I don't know, but the example I used in the video was that the Echo show was released all at once, and this is something Disney wanted to get behind them as quickly as possible. And being something dropped all at once, it's only really relevant for discussion for a week or two. And then it's out of the public consciousness for the most part. And shows of the past, like X-Files and Star Trek, which were weekly shows, 20 to 26 episodes per season, so you'd be with these characters for like half a year at a time, essentially, once a week.
Definitely.
That you would have time to, think about it, sit and talk about it, with friends, family, co-workers. There's the whole, water cooler show thing. Whereas a show dropped all at once, the things that are going to stand out to you are likely going to be the bigger, plot beats or moments, stuff that happens. The big reveals, the shocking twists, as opposed to, oh wait, everything to set that up made no sense though.
Yeah.
I guess concluding thoughts. The aftermath of this war with Victor. What's the town going to look like? Is everyone going to live in peace now and sing Kumbaya, or?
That seems to be the implication because, for some reason, Savika is on the Piltover Council now. But I also don't see what that means what if they just all outvote her every single time?
Yeah. Again, because it's a majority, takes rule. It's not a they don't have to even humor them. They can just be like, all right, well, let's vote on this. All right, majority got it. You fuck you, go on.
Yeah.
And that is why I hate democracy.
Yeah.
It does seem kind of pointless. Yeah. I mean, if anything, it's just like a gesture of goodwill, like, oh yeah, play nice. We'll let you on the table.
It's kind of disappointing too, because I like the character of Savika in season 1, and like I said, I don't play the games, but I wanted her to be announced as a new hero in the game, just because I thought, she was that good in season 1, where it's like, yeah, hell yeah, give this character a place in the games. And I mean, that never happened, so
Yeah.
I mean, now that they added Ambessa and Mel to League of Legends, I always was thinking oh, what's the reasoning behind them adding it? Is it because they're that interesting that they're adding it to the game? No, it's just flashy, fake reasons. The show is popular, so we gotta include someone in the game,
I guess
kind of
that's
thing.
one thing worth mentioning about season 1. The moment Ambessa showed up, I was just like, oh yeah, that's a game character. I don't even need to look that one up. which is funny because she wasn't.
I guess it doesn't hold its significance anymore because season 2 is shit. You know, you're no longer excited to play the game. I'm wondering, like, by how much did Arcane increase the player base of League of Legends? Like, did people bother to check it out?
I
I'd say
feel
it
like
had an
there's.
effect.
I feel like stuff like that is inevitable when something is this popular that there's
Hmm.
going to be some increase on some level, even if it's small. Yeah, I don't know what else to say at this point, though. I'm just, once again, left feeling depressed and kind of empty.
Yep. Well, it only took us like a couple hours, and I think
This
we covered
is
everything.
about as long as I expected it to be. We're at 246 right now. I was expecting 2.5, 3.5 hours long.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad, chat. It was pretty bad.
Yeah. I still recommend season 1. Just stop with season 1. There is no season 2.
There is no. It was cancelled, unfortunately. Well, Netflix cancels a lot of stuff, and just ignore the next episode kind of autoplay feature once you get. Don't bother get around to that. Just click off autoplay. Nothing there. It's emptiness. At least we got the penguin. Yeah, you're right. At least we got the penguin.
I've been
I
meaning to
don't
watch
know.
that. I've heard really, really fucking good things about it.
I have seen it. It is good. I recommend it. I have some gripes with it, mainly, but I do think it's good. I think it stuck the landing, unlike this show.
Alright, I guess I'll get the super chats then if you guys don't have anything else to say about the show. Final thoughts, Setch?
What a total waste of a great setup.
Yeah, it feels like the characters, the world, the character arcs, the plot lines, everything was just wasted.
Yep. I'm fucking not Warwick. Why in the fuck? It would have been more interesting because then it would have been more like Vi would have taken more on faith that it was Vander if it didn't look anything like Vander. If it actually looked like fucking Warwick.
Yeah.
Of course not.
Yeah, that's disappointing. You never get to see true Warwick. It's just this half in between Wolfman Vander, as
He looks
opposed to
kind of
like,
ape-like, which is fucking weird.
yeah. All right. Super chats then. $20 from Irish John. Thank you. Congratulations on the Fallout video. Made the Thanksgiving workday go by faster. Thank you. It's very much appreciated. I hope you enjoyed it.
Also, that sucks. Thanksgiving work day. But hey, hope they paid you time and a half at least.
Yeah.
If not double. Hope they got you double.
Oh, hopefully, yeah. Membership message for 21 months from Just a Guy from Alabama. Thank you. So Arcane Season 2 sucks beaver balls. How disappointing. In other news, I read every Cyphus Kane novel. I'm sad now that there aren't any more yet.
I like how you put yet. But yeah, no, I agree. Cyphus Kane is the hero of the Imperium for sure. And I just love the fact that he has imposter syndrome. That is genuinely a great character trait to have in a book where somebody is that heroic and that like powerful and strong. You can easily fall into like Mary Sue, Gary Stu syndrome, right?
Yeah.
But he has severe imposter syndrome. He can't accept that he's actually doing things and he's actually brave or he's actually smart or anything. He always has to like put himself down and be like, "No, I didn't actually think about that. I was just trying to hide there, and then I got scared and I shot and it perfectly nailed the orc in the eye and killed him immediately. But you know, it wasn't my intention. I was just trying to hide. I didn't want to die in the battle." So and it's like, but you killed the orc war boss and everything, and you actually charged him like that. It's like, well, yeah, I charged him because I knew that there were a bunch of people watching me, and they would call me a coward if I didn't charge him, so I kind of had to. And it's like, Jesus Christ, stop! You take the medal, Cyphus. Just take the medal. Stop destroying your own self.
$8 from Dileocon, thank you. My sister watched season 1 and loved it a lot. Then she watched season 2. She despises it. Also, what the fuck? Savika buddy with Jinx? She hates her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, Savika was trying to get Silco to kill Jinx for the longest time.
I actually really like that dynamic in season 1 too, because Savika was like incredibly loyal to Silco to the point where she risked her life to save him, and that's how she lost her arm in the first place. And she's just like his top lieutenant the entire time. Even when the others, the other Chem Barons want to betray him, because they're sensing weakness in him, she fakes going along with it just to fucking kill the one guy and make it clear that no, she's with Silco all the way.
Yep.
Just for her to fucking, like, I mean, it feels like she really got character assassinated too in season 2, where she's just kind of this depressed, angry fucking loser for most of it. I understand her being like upset at the death of Silco, but yeah. How do you feel about Jinx and Savika kind of shit-talking him in that one scene?
That's fucked.
Yeah.
She would have bitch slapped the shit out of Jinx. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That is a moment of like, you don't talk. It would have been like if they were shit talking Vander, and then Jinx would have fucking killed her immediately.
Yeah. Because, like, the whole thing of, oh yeah, he couldn't do anything by himself. He needed to send Mio to go do his dirty work. It's like, that's the fucking point. He's the boss. You're the lieutenant that does the fucking dirty work for him. It's not that he can't do it. It's that to be a leader, you need to send people out to enforce your control over the place.
Yeah, do you expect him to be at every single problem situation? Can he not delegate whatsoever? Does he have to deal with every fuck up himself? Or can he try to rely on you? Oh wait, are you just salty for the fact that you kept fucking up and he had to keep covering for you? Jesus.
$8 from Dileocon, thank you. My sister is also glad that her favorite character, Silco, died before season 2, though she's pretty mad of the childhood flashback one. Yeah, I don't know, I can't help but feel season 2, like, did damage to him retroactively.
Yeah, and it was because of the flashback.
Yeah. Because, like, part of what frustrates me is we see that moment in the flashback of the good times, and then we know him and Vander were enemies after that, essentially, after the Civil War. But we don't see what exactly led there, so seeing the flashback and Vander being like, oh hey, doofus number 2 over here, blah 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 blah, and then Silco going, you're wrong, I'm doofus number 1. Just like as like kind of a cheeky line, doesn't slot in with the Silco we know. So to not have that connective tissue of how do you get from here to there fucking bugs the shit out of me. And again, especially that he's friends with Vi and Powder's mother.
Yep.
And then he tries to kill them in the first season.
It's just fucking, it's weird. It's like, oh, I know you, I'm dear friends with your mother, but I'm gonna shank this fucking child that whose mother did me no wrong, Well, it's fucking weird.
I'm going to shank this crying child in the street for no particular reason. She wasn't even with the others. I don't know why she's here now, but I'm going to do it because she's Vander's adopted daughter, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, bruh. Yeah, that whole thing with Vi and Powder's mother, it just feels like that was invented out of thin air. It feels like it wasn't thought of in season one. In season, like, it just didn't exist. It wasn't a part of any plan. They just invented it out of nowhere because, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I
Like I
said,
said, it was more impactful if it would have been somebody completely unknown to him. It was just
Yeah.
another trencher, it was just another lane, like just like he was, and he realized the suffering that his rebellion caused.
yeah.
Right. So, and what's the point of showing Vi's mum at this point of the show? Vi maybe doesn't quite remember her mother's face. Now, neither does Powder. Right? Both of the people who've even met them or saw them is Silco and Vander, who are currently dead or turned into a werewolf. What's the utility in showing these memories and parent? Like, stupid. There's nothing. You've got nothing on you.
Yeah.
It's just to play, like, heartstrings with some music, and that's it. It doesn't further the plot. It doesn't really give more character to someone. It's useless.
Yeah. $10 from Yan. Thank you. Sup, fellas? Just enjoying a chill night drinking whiskey. Hope you all had a good day. I slept for most of the day because I just got off night shift, but since I've been up, well, I've mostly spent that time talking about Arcane now, so guess I'm not having
Yeah.
a good day.
Um,
I've actually had a really good day.
Wow, rub
Been
it
playing
in.
more been playing more Stalker 2, and actually been enjoying it. Part of it's obviously the honeymoon of new content, new dopamine, right? So you always
Yeah.
have to kind of keep that in mind, in the back of your mind. But I've actually been enjoying the story, and that it actually has multiple branching paths and everything. I genuinely like that you have those options. Like there are big moments too. Like I had it on stream. I had to sit there for like almost 10 minutes. Like, do I show them this PDA or do I not show them the PDA? Because that's the question. You get Q, show them the PDA. E, don't show them the PDA. And then actually, I was like, okay, there's a save right before this. I'm gonna do the one. I'm gonna stick to the one. Whatever choice I make, I didn't show them it. And then they played out an entirely different scene. And then I go back and okay, I'm going to save now. I'm going to go back and see what happens if I did show it. And then the scenes are radically different. You get different rewards. You get different objectives. It's like to continue the storyline. It's like, all right, I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. Because it's a stalker game. And I'm not saying the stalker games had bad stories, but they were kind of linear. You kind of had a series of things you needed to do, right? You could choose kind of how to tackle them, but it was very much like go here. Maybe the ecologist will tell you how to get inside the X16 lab and so on and so forth, right? So yeah, I appreciate it a lot. Still clunky as hell. Still hate that A life is missing, but the first patch is in, and thank God it fixes a lot of problems.
Just a quick message in chat here before I get to the next supers. Savika has no speaking line since episode 4. I didn't realize that, but you're probably right.
Yeah.
Which is fucking weird, too. Okay. 5 gifted memberships from Darkington. Thank you. It's very much appreciated. And, the last one for now. $2 from Just a Guy from Alabama. Thank you. It's Caiaphas. You'll say it right, Farm Tool.
Caiaphas. No, so you have Cyphus Kane, Caiaphas Kane. Like there's all different kinds of ways to say it. I prefer Cyphus Kane.
Cyphus Kane
Right.
does sound better.
Yeah.
Which farm tool?
Hmm?
Which farm tool?
Argonian.
The joke. Yeah, the joke is that because I have scales, I'm a farm tool. I'm a slave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Argonians are slaves of Morrowind. And Khajiit, but, yeah.
Also, their name is Saxaleel. Get her right.
Also, Vi and Echo don't share any dialogue. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up, too.
Oh, that is weird, yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff like that I'm going to try to have to keep a note out of when I make the video.
Season
Why don't
1
these
had...
characters interact?
How many episodes did Season 1 have again?
9.
And they did a lot of stuff, a lot of legwork with that season. And
Yeah.
Season 2, it feels like they've barely done any whatsoever.
Yeah, that's the weird paradox of Season 2 of... It feels like they're cramming in 3 or 4 seasons worth of story into one season, yet at the same time, for a large part of it, it feels like nothing is happening. But anyways, I suppose that's it for today, for the stream. Thank you for coming out, everyone. It is very much appreciated that you came to our fucking therapy session with this stupid fucking show.
Yeah.
I
it
even
was
said to Setch before we started, this is basically going to be my cope stream, where it's like, man, I am just so fucking depressed over this show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's definitely a kick in the nuts after how good Season 1 was.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got it out of my system, Just shout at a microphone and just...
Yeah, that's part of why I was doing this too, is I am going to do the video on it, but I still needed to get this out of my system in another way. And this was just the best way to do it, is just talk with people, go over things,
Yep.
$2 from Darkington, thank you. I bet you say custodes, too.
It'd be custodies.
Custodians.
Well, because...
Yeah, because it's like custodial service, custodians.
Well, no, because you're pronouncing Cyphus Kane wrong.
No, I know. But he didn't
Crustaceans.
even have the E's in there.
But yeah, again, thank you for coming out, everyone. I'll try to stream something tomorrow, but no guarantees. But yeah, have a good night, everyone. See you later.
Good night.
Night.